Hello, everybody, and welcome to another presentation of ECL Elite Season 10 right here on NHL Gamer. My name is Doogie, joined as always by my broadcast partner, Sin and Sin. How are we feeling today?
You know, it's always a good feeling getting to cast some sixes, especially between two teams kind of on the bubble of the playoff race. It's going to be, a very intense matchup here.
Absolutely, as we continue to barrel towards the playoffs in the back half of the regular season, we have two very interesting matchups for you here in this broadcast, kicking things off with the number 8, or at least tied for 8th right now in the Gotham Knights, right on the edge of playoff contention, going up against Checkmate, currently in 11th with a 5-5-2 record. Later on, after this two-game series, this home and home, we'll be covering 12th placed Farjestad for the second time this week as they take on Vesa Pompa HC. Two teams also on the bubble and trying to work their way into the playoff structure. So, Sin, as we get a look at the lineups here for the two teams, of course, we'll get into the individual breakdowns. Excited to see again how this plays out. A lot of talking points, some interesting members, some interesting people to point out, I would say, on both sides in terms of who needs to step up, who we expect to make an impact and everything like that. So I do want to start off though with the center matchup as we normally do, because Sin, as we emphasize every time, success in the ECL, particularly in the Elite Division, starts with the centers, a strong two-way foundation, but also being able to put up points.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, one guy has put up points perhaps a bit better than the other. Their tackle control has the point advantage, a very strong face-off percentage with 58.3. Red Misty, not so much of a goal scorer, more of a facilitator, but below point per game. And when you get into these, the high-class EASHL matchups, you always want your forwards to be at least point per game. So perhaps underperforming slightly right now. However, really only way to go is up, but against tackle control, it is going to be a tough matchup for him.
Absolutely. Again, the gigantic difference, though, in terms of goal scoring ability that will lead us to look to the wings for Red Misty to step up in terms of goal scoring. That winger matchup brings us to perhaps the most interesting member, of either side to look at, that being Biggest 8, who will be playing in just his 5th and 6th game of the season thus far. With 7 points in 4 games, nothing to scoff at.
No, definitely not. And, that's really good when you have someone kind of new-ish coming in. He's able to produce immediately and be on a pace that really gives you some confidence coming in. And, him paired up with Eye Handy there, look to them to be able to, really push for, offense there. And you got 2 goal scorers. Well, all of them can put up goals. And I think that's incredibly important. You don't want to have too many, roles, essentially. Like, you kind of want everyone to be able to goal score, everyone to assist, everyone to be playing defense, and I think that's what the Gotham Knights have really well in their forward core.
And speaking of the defense, that brings us to the defensive matchup for the Gotham Knights, Mikasi and Samza. On the other side, EASHL and Vilio. And I'm going to be intrigued to see, as we often are, who steps up. I mean, oftentimes, shutdown defense pair, it can work in a league like this, but so often, as we've seen with the top teams, it's the defensemen that can get involved offensively and be the playmakers that cannot just, drive play and get the teams that offensive zone time, but can make a difference once they're there.
Definitely. And that's again, one of the most important things, I think, is to have active defensemen moving up in the play, leading the rush at times when they need to. It just gives you so many other options. And both these teams seem to have that kind of one guy, EASHL and Samza. They're kind of more the point scorers and sort of puck movers. But an interesting thing, you usually look to the giveaways to kind of find who you think the puck mover is. That is Samza on the side of Gotham Knights. But on the flip side, it's actually Vilio with the more giveaways than Make. So I'm kind of curious to see if EASHL is just so good with the puck that he doesn't turn it over much, or if Vilio's the guy who really gets pressured and might be a weak point on the back end.
Turnovers are often key because, again, those crucial defensive turnovers often lead to big save situations for the men between the pipes. And of course, that brings us to the goaltending matchup. And Sin, we're a little bit spoiled here today with one of these guys that we get to call. Not that Uiski is a slouch, but we have Jan between the pipes for the Gotham Knights, one of the top 3 goaltenders in the league right now.
Yeah, second in save percentage, third in goals against, and with 2 shutouts, that's good enough for a tie for third. So he's really able to shut the door there. And Uiski, he's going to have a tough matchup ahead of him, especially with some of those forwards on the opposite side. But while he might not have the numbers that he wants, there's always potential to move up there. But he's going to have to start playing a bit better. You always want to get to that 80 save percentage mark for your team.
Absolutely, and that'll bring us to the keys of the game. We're going to start off with the Gotham Knights on the back half of that. And in terms of, again, what we look for, it really does kind of bring us to our first point with the Knights, and that is protect the house. They seemingly have 2 out of 3 pieces figured out. You could argue that they have a good team defense. They have the 3rd fewest goals for against per game, and of course, as we mentioned, a goaltender that ranks top 3 in all categories, which brings us back to that second point of the best defense is a good defense. Of course, normally the saying is the offense, but 12th ranked in terms of goals for per game. So very interesting to see this team kind of lead their way from the back out, and I'm going to be intrigued to see if they can really kind of find that offensive touch today. When they do find their offensive touch, though, that's where the clutch factor steps in. 5 different players have at least 1 game-winning goal for the Gotham Knights this season. Sin, is there anything else that stands out for you about the Gotham Knights heading into this matchup, or do you think our keys to success have kind of hit the nail on the head?
I really think they have. Like you said, so many different guys who can step up in those big moments, and that's what they're going to need, especially to get that offense rolling.
Absolutely, and that will bring us over to the keys to success for Checkmate. Sin, why don't you break this one down? Tell us what they need to do here.
Well, they need to kind of get their power play going more. Both teams, kind of in the middle of the pack here, but their PK, Checkmate, it's only 57%. That's good enough for dead last, and that's just not going to be good enough. You're going to get shorthanded eventually. You're going to need to be able to kill those off, and as of right now, that's a little bit questionable here. As we move on next, the physical game. Gotham being the more physical team, it could result in more special team chances for Checkmate. However, their power play only 11%, so they're going to have to improve upon that as well. And the final point, the master of the puns here, we got Napsali to Electric Boogaloo. I have to say that out loud. It's so satisfying coming off the tongue. But yes, Nipsali, the right winger for Checkmate, he needs to kind of get going, especially on the scoring side of things. Assists are nice, but 12 shots in 12 games played is just simply not enough for a forward. You got to start throwing that puck on net. 0 goals, and you can't score if you're not throwing that puck on the net. So it kind of creates a bit of pressure on tackle control and Nayats to kind of really step up and boost the offense up. So Nipsali really going to have to step his game up and help them out on the front end.
Absolutely. And Nipsali, I will apologize for 2 horrible puns in back-to-back broadcasts, but it is only because we do expect that high caliber of offense from you, I promise. We're going to get a look at the head-to-head matchup here, though, in terms of the team stats and what we have seen thus far. And there you see it. In terms of goals for per game, we are deadlocked at 24 apiece. That close of a matchup. But there you see again, the difference right now is with the defense and with the goaltending for the Gotham Knights, and Sydney advantage on special teams as well.
Yeah, Gotham Knights almost kind of has everything, but the one side that they're maybe a bit lower on is the goals for. Checkmate does have 2 games in hand, so the average is a bit higher, but yeah, the goals against, glaring holes. Gotham Knights are close to, even with the goals for, goals against. So that's pretty good, especially when you got a goaltender as good as you have on the back end. But yeah, special teams for both of these teams could definitely use some improvement, and I think they're going to play a major factor in this matchup.
Absolutely. Now, of course, when we talk about defense and we talk about goaltending being a major factor, perhaps, especially when it comes to goaltending, not exactly on display in a better way than what we saw, Sim, with our most recent play of the week. Again, we talk about with the offense, there's always time. If there's seconds on the clock, there is always time to find a goal. But as we saw in our play of the week, it also means there's time to make a spectacular save. Let's take a look at this past week's play of the week before we get into today's action. Sin not only being able to make that play in general, but to be able to make that play against the defending champs. I mean, that is pat yourself on the back worthy for a long time to come. So again, so often we see these spectacular goals from the forwards, from defensemen stepping up and making these great plays, but you got to give a shout out to a goalie when they deserve it, and that was certainly an example of deserving it. So again, a spectacular play there for the man between the pipes for Roots. And again, it's a key matchup here. The man between the pipes for, of course, Checkmate and the Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights in particular, though, with Yom between the pipes. Again, as we talked about, the netminder, the goalie, the man behind the mask, but hopefully not in an iron mask. Although, the last guy to be in an iron mask was quite the looker, and I'm sure Yom will take that, He'll take that. He'll take that. Why not? Yeah, sure. I don't know where I'm going with this, Sin, but the point being is we got to look at the lineups here. We are just about ready to go, thankfully, again, for 2 games between these two teams. Again, the Gotham Knights tied for 8th in the standings. Checkmate in 11th. Both teams right there on the bubble, battling for a playoff spot. And we'll see who steps up. We'll see who makes those highlight reel plays to really take advantage and make the most of the opportunity. As you get a look at the standings, and again, the key thing to remember here, the left side of the bracket is where you want to be. If you're on the left side, you are in. Sin, what stands out for you here about the current standings right now in the league heading into tonight's action?
Just how close it gets when you get to the middle of the pack here. I mean, any of these teams from about 6 all the way to, even 13, these guys all have a shot at the playoffs. They're far from out of it. I mean, even the teams on the bottom half, you get going on a good run here, and it's just that kind of parity here is amazing for the league. And for these teams too, you never really feel like you're out of it. And, you may have to go against one of those tough elite teams if you do make the playoffs, but you're in, you stay in the elite division, and hey, you get tons of practice.
Absolutely. Well, Sin, we are just about ready to go. The action just about underway. As again, it will be a home-and-home, a 2-game series. Checkmate and the Gotham Knights that you see in red there. Sin, we normally put you on the hot seat. I'm going to do it again here. Gotham Knights really going to move towards solidifying that playoff spot, or Checkmate not quite done yet in terms of moving up the standings at this point in the season? Easy for me to say.
Yeah, this is such a tough matchup to call, and I would predict a split, but I think Gotham Knights, you may see them have the advantage here. They have the better goaltender, and when both teams are kind of struggling to score, look to the better goaltender to make the difference.
So the Knights working back to the point. Quick shot opportunity doesn't quite go through. We'll see what Checkmate are able to do on the counterattack. Rough turnover there from McCosty. Shooting chance, pass back in front, and broken up quickly again in front. So an interesting opportunity there for both teams early on. Gotham Knights willing to shoot it from the point. See a lot of teams hesitate to do so. A battle for the puck. Still now back down into the corner where Checkmate will recover. A little bit of trouble here on the breakout. Again, smart move right now. Taking their time. Looking for the space. Force pass there. We'll see. The Knights are able to take advantage, and indeed, here they are on the rush. Samza finds a little bit of space, gets it down low. Across, and he scores! What a play. Quickly over the blue line. Samza rushes up. Couple of quick passes, and Handy is there to tuck it into the open net. Great start for the Gotham Knights.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. I mean, Samza, what a way to enter the zone, and that's why you need those active defensemen. They can create space, get the forwards down low, and they lost contain on the winger. He snuck over, got open for the one-timer and made no mistake. Not much that Uwitski could do on that play.
That is a tough break early on for the Checkmate defense. A couple of rough turnovers, and eventually that's all it kind of takes is that little bit of space can be found if that defense is overthinking a little bit. Second chance here, tuck opportunity. Just doesn't go for Handy. Another great chance. Checkmate, that defense looking a little bit vulnerable early on here, not just in terms of the puck movement, which we've kind of seen from both defenders thus far, but just in general. Both teams right now a little bit rough in the early stages of this period. This one offside. 12:44 on the clock here again. Gotham Knights have the early lead in this one. See what happens here on a big-time face-off. Again, here in the early stages of the first period. 2 games between these two teams coming at you. The chance here is biggest 8, works it over the line, runs into a little bit of trouble. Working it over the blue line, quickly taken away by Mikasi. Easily done for the left defenseman of the Gotham Knights. Great drop pass. Couple of quick passes. Handy has a little bit more space. Biggest 8, the shot and a glove save by Uwitski. Again, biggest 8, just his 5th game of the season. But is that a goal per game at this stage?
Yeah, definitely not looking out of place, not afraid to shoot the puck either. That's really good to have as Checkmate wins the faceoff here, but turns it over.
Shot on the rebound. Chance, secondary chance in front after the steal. Back to Samsa, the shot doesn't go through. Thrown off the back of the net, loose puck still being fought for. Checkmate able to come up with it. We'll see what they can do on the counterattack. Nayots has it, drives the net. Loose puck is covered by with 9:06 left. So good chance for both teams on the scramble. Checkmate, not a bad idea. Just get the puck to the net and see what can happen. But again, the offensive opportunities can develop that quickly for both teams. Big defensive zone draw win there for Red Misty of the Gotham Knights. Dennison talked about in the pregame, big matchup there in terms of face-off win percentage between Misty and tackle control. Knights look to recover possession. Mikazi able to dish it off to biggest 8. And here come the Knights. Handy drops it back to the point. One-timer, save, scramble in front. And again, Checkmate able to come up with it, limiting the second chance opportunities, but a bit of miscommunication there is going to lead to an icing call.
Yeah, and Checkmate just not really able to establish much right now. They're having trouble entering the zone. The miscue right there leading to an ice, and another big opportunity for Red Misty to win this offensive zone faceoff and get some pressure for his team.
Unable to do so, though. Turnover there, though. Biggest 8 has it back for Misty. Tried to throw it on. Andy will recover down in the corner. The Knights still in possession. Good bit of cycle work here. Again, down. Odd angle shot from Misty. But Uwitski is able to come up with the save. It's been a good look there for the Gotham Knights, trying a one-timer from a really odd angle nearly along the goal line.
Yeah, it's a, test the goalie from anywhere and throw something at your opponent that they may not be expecting. A really good look right there for the Gotham Knights.
Another good defensive zone draw win for tackle control. Checkmate in possession. This one dished off the half wall. Now back again to the point. Make Axel in possession. Looks to throw it on. Can't get it through the traffic. And again, now the Knights are back in possession. Good quick puck movement. Misty with a bit of space. Tries the move. The drive and a save by Uwitski. Wasn't the prettiest. Not the most flashy animation in the world. But strong positioning bails him out there. Great job from Misty to make the most of that opportunity. At least to the best that he could. Obviously, making the most of it would have been the goal, which is what he would have preferred. 2 minutes left here in the first period. We'll see what Checkmate are able to do. Not sure how many chess-related puns we're going to have here with our colleague Drew Goldfarb not on the call. But again, Checkmate right now working their way, trying to find some space. Unable to do so. Here come the Gotham Knights on the back end. Misty, we have a power play coming. Shot on, saved by Uwitski. And it is going to be the Gotham Knights going to the power play. It's going to be a rare high sticking call. Didn't see who that was against him. Might have been... I can't actually tell who it was for Checkmate, but a big chance here for Gotham Knights. I'm sure you'll let me know. Mikasi dishes it down low. A pass back in front doesn't go. Nipsely is there. He'll wind down the clock. Bit of trouble off the turnover. Shot blocked. Rough moment there for Checkmate. Close call for Nipsely, but Misty's shot cannot get through the traffic. But the Gotham Knights, off the early goal from Handy, have the 1-0 lead. Sin, what are we looking at here heading into the second period? And please, because I didn't have time to look, who was in the box for Checkmate? If you could clear that up for me, that would be great.
If my eyes don't deceive me, I believe it was tackle control, their center going to the box. So a pretty big loss there for Checkmate when it comes to the face-off battle. But the biggest thing that I'm seeing right now is the turnovers that the Gotham Knights are forcing in the offensive zone. Checkmate having a lot of trouble breaking it out. Even when they do, the neutral zone game for them just seems to be a bit off. They're having trouble gaining the zone. So right now, Checkmate, a lot to kind of make up in terms of getting back into this game, and 9 shots to 1. And Gotham Knights have the 1-0 lead, and you can just see from that stat alone just how much trouble Checkmate is having. We get another look at that one-time goal. Just excellent 2 passes there from Gotham Knights. I mean, you see everyone from Checkmate collapsed into the zone, but they're all just a step or 2 late. And Gotham Knights, I mean, their quick transitions are really just, putting Checkmate in their place right now. They're going to have a big response here in the second period to get back into it.
Again, we talked about that strong defense for Gotham Knights and strong goaltending as well, fully on display. Again, Checkmate tied right now for 13th in goals against per game towards the back half of this 16-team league. We'll see what the Knights are able to do here on this man advantage, looking to double up the lead. Puck down into the corner, Checkmate recovers but are unable to clear. Samza with the pinch holds it in all the way down low now. Couple of quick passes. Handy tried to find Makasi, could not do it. And Yam will quickly play it out to his center. The Knights will be right back on the attack. Under 40 seconds to go here on the power play. A little bit of trouble in the neutral zone due to Nipsely's presence. And again, the Knights in possession. Quick bit of cycle work, looking for space. Dishes it off. Misty now loses it. And it's cleared by Make Axel. That'll do it for the man advantage. Promising kill there for Checkmate. Again, we talked about the special teams and the effect that it could have on this game. A promising start there on a successful kill. See both teams battling for it in the neutral zone. Gotham Knights still in possession. Scrambling a little bit, some miscommunication. And ultimately, Checkmate now in possession off of the pressure. Big move there, thrown in front, intercepted by Makasi. Nayats just not on the receiving end of that pass. But a promising start here for Checkmate off the kill and tightening up in the neutral zone. Nipsely now dishes it back to the point. One-timer doesn't find its way through. Still in front. But Yam is there and able to find the puck through the traffic. He covers. A big-time face-off here coming up for Checkmate in the offensive zone.
Yeah, this is exactly what they need to do to start the period, and put the pressure back on the Gotham Knights. They've done exactly that, and a big offensive face-off for them.
They come up with it. Chance. Nayats throws it on. Yam a little bit of trouble. Secondary chance there for tackle control. It just doesn't go. The Knights trying to get a clean breakout. Struggling with that right now. Handy dishes it back to his defenseman. Makasi not able to find space, but still in possession of the Knights. Shooting chance, tries to dish it in front to Misty. It doesn't go. And the follow-up pass also off the mark. Here comes Checkmate on the counterattack. Dishes down low. Nipsely shrugged off by Samza. The Knights back in possession, but not for long. Checkmate really picking up the pressure on the forecheck as Samza tries to find his way through. Dishes it back to Handy, but right now a phenomenal job by Checkmate in shutting down their own blue line. Bit of space there for Misty, and it quickly evaporates. Now again, here's Nipsely, quickly dishes it off again. Checkmate trying to find a way through. A promising start to the opening 10 minutes of this second period. We'll see what they can do in the back half as the neutral zone battle continues to be a very key factor here through the opening stages of this game. Nipsely has it, dishes it down low to the point. Save by Yam. I believe that hit the target. If not, that secondary opportunity didn't as well, but Yam still right where he needs to be. Second chance, big save by Yam on that one, no doubts. Gotham Knights goalkeeper coming up big right now. Samza trying to get the counterattack going. Handy has it back now. Shot doesn't quite go through. Second chance, another shot just wide of the post, and Uwiski is able to cover this one up. So both teams trading chances at opposite ends of the ice as we head down the back half here of the second period.
Yeah, and Gotham Knights are finding really creative passing lanes to set up those one-timers, and that's giving them a lot of space and going to fool the goalie eventually, but they have trouble on the face-off right there. Checkmate coming back.
Another big defensive zone draw win. We've seen the center stepping up. Nipsely, great job on the pressure. Chance keeps it, tries to tuck it. Puck still loose, and ultimately is able to find it between the pads, and he holds on to it. Great job by Nipsely there, cutting back and looking for the space 5-hole instead of just looking to throw it into the traffic. That's the creativity that he has and that he can display. Checkmate, win the draw, able to hopefully keep up the pressure. Chance for Nipsely again, tries to throw it back in front, now still fighting for it. Recovered by Nayats, he dishes it back to the point. Nayats again on the half wall. Checkmate still in possession. Chance, Nipsely, shot glove save by another big save. And a chance now for Handy perhaps on the counter. Dishes it off for Misty. Step back, slap shot, hits the side of the net, perhaps the blocker. Really interesting chances here from the Gotham Knights. Makasi has it down low, looks to cycle back up top, sends it down low instead. A little bit of trouble here for Handy. Recovered again now by 8, looks for the wraparound. Misty has it down low. Can he try to test the Uski on the post? He cannot, as Checkmate are back in possession under 2 minutes to play here in a fast-paced second period. Nipsely sends it down low. Recovered, thrown back in front. Loose puck again. Covered by Sin. What a pace here. The Knights trying shots from odd angles. Checkmate finding their offensive form. And a big draw here. We might not even have the opportunity to let you get a word in. 1:02 left. It's going to be a quick minute to end the period. Another crucial draw that Checkmate come up with. Puck now with the point stepping in. And Checkmate will be going to the power play. Biggest 8, the left winger for Gotham Knights, going to the box for a trip. So a huge chance here for Checkmate and a big chance for tackle control on the draw. He wins another one. Puck thrown in front, loose, now kicked out to the corner. The Knights in possession, and they send it all the way down. A big chance there just goes to waste. One more chance on the rush here for Checkmate if they can find their way into the zone. Nipsely can't hold that one. It'll go all the way back down into the Checkmate zone, and that will do it for the second period. So a 1-0 lead somehow holds for the Gotham Knights off of that early goal, but in big chances for both teams on both sides of the ice.
Yeah, the offense really opened up there, but I was really impressed towards the end of that period with Samza. He made several key defensive plays right there on that power play. When they tried to thread it back in front, he was there to, get a piece of it. On that zone entry, their last try, he intercepts it, sends it back down, and even before the power play, when they're trying to kick it back out front, he intercepted the pass in front of the net. So really good defensive plays, and we're kind of seeing how well Gotham Knights can defend, but a good pushback there from Checkmate in that period. They're not able to capitalize on it, but they are starting to get those chances. But at the same time, they haven't really been able to limit the Gotham Knights and their creativity offensively. So when you're already down, you're still kind of chasing the game. Yes, you had a better period, but you're also going to have to try to shut down the Gotham Knights just a bit more here in the last period.
We'll see whether or not they're able to do just that. Again, a good bounce-back performance from Checkmate after a very slow and uncertain first period of play. It'll be very interesting to see how this one plays out. Again, both teams on the cusp, battling for a playoff spot. Every point matters at this stage of the season. Here comes Checkmate now, a minute remaining on the man advantage. EASHL dishes it off for tackle control, cuts back in, slot, the pass to Nipsely, tries the pass again. The hesitation to take that shot, chance for tackle control. Put the puck on net, he can't do so, and the Knights will clear.
Yeah, you got to take that shot if you're Nipsely in that situation. Even if it, might not go in, that extra pass there, it just killed the offense.
We're back to 5-on-5, a successful kill for both teams at this stage in the game. Tackle control, dishes down low, big kick save from Yam, robbing Nayats. Great job there from, again, one of the top 3 goaltenders, as, again, a shot just doesn't quite go through. Great job from the Knights thus far, getting into those shooting lanes, and we'll see whether or not they can come up with a chance on the counterattack here. Samza looking to step in. Shut down by EASHL yet again. The left defenseman still in possession. Dishes it off to his center. A couple of quick passes. Now it's Nayats. Sends it down low. Nipsely fights for it. Recovered. Shot from the point. Blocked down yet again. And here come the Knights on the counterattack. Chance for biggest 8. Back to the point. And an ill-advised pass just doesn't find its way to Makasi. But however, the Knights will recover possession. Time winding down. They'll take it still with a 1-0 lead at this stage of the game. An early goal from Handy. He's in possession of it now. Finds Misty. Handy again, the shot from a weird angle. Scramble for it, and Uski is able to find it. Close calls for both goaltenders, just stopping the puck from crossing the line.
And they're really seeming to favor those odd angle chances. Might have had a better one-time opportunity. Mikasi crept in towards the high slot there and did have a passing lane, but perhaps they're trying to fool Uwitski by trying those tough angles. Perhaps they assumed he was sitting on that one time from the middle.
Space here for Nipsey. Checkmate still battling, looking to get their first goal of the game. Chance, opportunity just doesn't go again. An opportunity to pass, an opportunity to shoot. As Nayat elected to shoot, didn't go through. Biggest 8 now for the Gotham Knights. Brings it down low. Still fighting for it. Dishes it back to the point. D to D passes. Will they throw another odd shot on? They tried. Misty just couldn't get that slap shot on. And here comes Checkmate on the counter. Step up here. Vilio has it. Chance again. It doesn't quite go through. And here come the Knights. End-to-end hockey, although a great job there from Checkmate to slow it down. Misty offside here. 9:38 remaining. Both teams on the verge of breaking through. You sense that another goal is coming? Or Sin, is this somehow going to hold at this point?
It could hold, but if it does, that would almost be miraculous. The pace is really quickening here. The offense really coming in waves.
Nipsley sauces it off of Yom's pads, dished out to the corner. Checkmate, again a shot, blocked down by Misty. Great job there. The two-way display from their center. Chance here. Nayat's blocker save from Yom. Another big save from, again, one of the top goaltenders in the league. There was a huge hit there. But right now the Knights unable to find a way to break through. Here comes Checkmate yet again. Nipsey, this will go all the way on net. Tries to play it out. A little bit of trouble. Just doesn't quite go through. Good forward-checking pressure here from Makayaxel stepping up. Trouble there. Turnover. Chance doesn't get through again. Another huge save. Or another huge block in front. No need to make a save if you're Yom, the team standing up in front of you. Misty fighting for it down in the corner. Finds biggest 8. Down in the corner himself, he dishes it back to the point. Chance, shot doesn't go through. Both teams doing a great job of clogging the shooting lanes. And here comes Checkmate yet again. 4 minutes to play here in regulation. Chance, opportunity, loose puck, scramble, Yom, all the way down. Another chance thrown in front, doesn't quite go in. Close calls for Checkmate in the dying moments of the third period. And here again come the Knights on the counterattack. Samza steps up, but he isn't able to come up with the puck. Checkmate back in possession. Over the line, Nayat finds Nipsey, drops it back from Makayaxel. Shot, potentially saved, still fought for on the side of the net, and he scores! Can it be? Has Mr. Nipsey found his first goal of the season? He has! And Checkmate have tied the game. Sin, it finally happened.
It finally happened, and you know what? He just shot the puck. He had a couple other opportunities in this period where he probably, you could argue, should have shot. Look for the extra pass that time. With time, sort of winding down here, he gets the tying goal for his team with 1:30 left. This sets up a very interesting finish.
And a little bit of a retread there, at least on my screen. We'll see what happens on this draw. 1:33 remaining here in this third period. Again, the first game of 2 between these two teams. Both teams battling for playoff positioning. Both technically on the outside looking in. Chance here for the Knights, looking to get the goal back. Shot doesn't go through. 48 seconds on the clock. Misty back in possession. Cycling it around. It doesn't quite go through. And a chance now again. Just not there on the counterattack for Checkmate. See whether or not they can find any space here. Final 30 seconds coming up. Makayaxel in possession. He dumps it in. Wide open as Nayats gets it. Tries to throw it in front. Finds its way to Nipsey. Has a little bit of trouble. And we'll see what happens here on the rush. Final 20 seconds for the Gotham Knights. Looking to break through. They can't do it. Here comes Makayaxel. Dishes it to Nipsey. The chance doesn't go through. A close call there. Checkmate going to the power play. It's going to be a tripping call. And that is going to be Red Misty, the center, to the box. So a huge moment here. 12.1 to go in regulation. Can Checkmate steal it? They win the draw. Goes all the way back to their zone. One final rush, perhaps. Makayaxel looking for the space. 3 seconds. No time. Shot. Never mind. A test there from Nayats. A save from Yom at the end. Sin, we are going to overtime. We'll see what happens here. Again, both teams picking up a crucial point. Stick with us. Overtime coming up.
Yeah, and Checkmate, they really battled back in that one. Very impressive, their resiliency there after a very, very tough first period. And the Gotham Knights, really, I wouldn't say they gave it away, but they had their chances.
All right, and here we go. We are just about ready to begin this overtime. Perhaps a little bit of technical difficulties on our end, trying to fix that here for the back half of this, and we'll see if it holds up. I certainly hope that it does. Time will tell, though, as we get ready for the overtime between these two teams. Let's see what happens. Let's see who can walk away with the victory here. Checkmate in possession early on. And an opportunity here. Nipsey looks to pass it in front. Can't do it. Shot. Yam is there. Kicked all the way out to the point. And now again, dished back over. Shot on. Doesn't quite go through. Gotham looking to find a way to break it out. Samza has it. Risky move here. Not sending it all the way down. Checkmate back in possession. Villo able to find the pass. Final 30 seconds of the man advantage. Thrown in front. Doesn't go through yet again. Now again, Checkmate still in possession, looking for space, and the snipe is there! Checkmate with the goal! Checkmate with the win! A phenomenal comeback victory for Checkmate. They take advantage of the power play in overtime and take game 1 of 2 against the Knights. Spectacular job, Sin, for Checkmate to come back and get the win out of nowhere. I believe tackle control with the game-winning goal. A great job there by Checkmate to turn things around. Spectacularly done.
Yeah, just a great shot, and he picks his corner, and we just saw a very kind of weaker power play convert, and that's exactly what we need to do. We talked about how important special teams were going to be. Checkmate got their chance, carried over into overtime, and they capitalized on it, and that's a tough come from behind victory. It seemed like Gotham Knights almost had that game in the bag. The problem was they didn't get that insurance marker. They allowed, just one goal to be that tying goal, and there's, the problem that we see from these two teams. Offense, a bit of an issue, and this time Checkmate on the right side of it.
Absolutely. Well, we will be taking a very quick intermission here. We promise to try and fix some of the technical issues. Not sure what side it's on, but we promise to have that sorted out. We will be right back with game 2. At least we hope. And Sin, we are finally back. A little bit of a technical difficulty that took a little bit longer to solve. At least we hope that it has been solved. The joys of a live broadcast. These things can happen, unfortunately, whether it be the internet medium, television, whatever. Unfortunately, never a fun time. Always frustrating for everyone involved. But we do thank those of you that stuck with us through that ordeal, as we will call it. But for those of you that did stick with us, I think you're in store for a very interesting game coming up. Again, the first game between Checkmate and Gotham Knights, going to overtime, a 2-1 victory, a come from behind victory for Checkmate. Mr. Nipsey gets his first goal of the season to tie it. If I'm not mistaken, tackle control, getting the overtime winner for Checkmate there in the early stages of that overtime on the power play, and that sets the stage for a very interesting game 2, which should hopefully just be moments away. So, Sin, your kind of analysis, your Sin-analysis, perhaps? Are we making that a thing?
Oh, that was
first game. Of that first game as we get ready to head into game 2. Again, the second game of 2 between these two teams.
Yeah, well, as the point we were kind of making, great come from behind victory from Checkmate. And again, Gotham Knights didn't necessarily play poorly, but they lacked that put away goal. They had the lead, they had the control. Checkmate with great pushback, but Gotham Knights by no means kind of, went away there. They were still pushing offense, but they just simply couldn't capitalize there. And Checkmate took advantage of it and took advantage of the power play. They nailed the keys that they really needed to do to kind of, to get the win there and start improving upon their chances. Mr. Nipsley scored. They capitalized on the power play, and Bob's your uncle. There they are, getting the extra point.
Sometimes it really is nice when, we have our team kind of put together the information, or at least gather the information to put together those points, and it happens to just hit the nail on the head time and time again. And obviously it's incredibly satisfying, at least for us to see, as we don't have a real rooting interest here, but it is so satisfying for us to be like, hey, this team does this, they're gonna win, and they go out and do exactly that. And again, for Checkmate, it wasn't a great start to that game. I believe, what was it, Sid? One registered shot through the first period, so it wasn't a perfect start. But as you talked about, especially before we took that brief little intermission, or at least somewhat brief intermission, for Gotham Knights, they weren't able to get that insurance goal, and that gave Checkmate the opportunity to get back into the game. Stick with it, it might work out for you, and indeed it did. And again, they picked up a crucial win, their 6th of the season, and now up to 14 points on the year. So as we get ready for this second game, what is the key for the Knights, aside from perhaps, simply putting it, just scoring more than one goal?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't play bad. I mean, there's not too many negatives to say about them besides that they just didn't get that extra goal. I mean, they were very creative offensively. They were good at breaking the puck in. They got their chances. They were doing a very good job, holding the blue line and limiting Checkmate's opportunities, but they just couldn't find that extra marker. So I think, Gotham Knights really got to press a bit more on the offensive side of things. The defense is great. Your goaltender's great, but a 1-goal lead is never safe.
Absolutely not. Sid, we are just about ready to go. Let's see if Checkmate can pull off a very crucial double, taking all 4 points here. The Gotham Knights, they see them in white. Checkmate at home in those, I have to say, quite lovely jerseys. We'll see how this one plays out. Again, game 2 of 2 between Gotham Knights and Checkmate. Again, the Knights tied for 8th, on the verge of a playoff spot heading in to these games. Checkmate in 11th, again now tied with the Knights, right on the fringe of making it into a postseason spot, as that is surprisingly not going to be a boarding call. Handy took a big hit there, but again, a bullet dodge early on for Checkmate. The shot from Misty doesn't go through. Checkmate back in possession, tackle control, looking to gain the zone. He does, but he's quickly bumped off. A couple of big hits early on here for Checkmate, but not able to get possession out of it. Biggest 8 tries to throw it back in front, intercepted well by EASHL, and he'll lead the charge back the other way. Tackle control throws it back in front, doesn't get through the traffic. Good double team pressure here. Chance thrown in front, still loose on the side of the net, but Yom is able to get there. Bob and Nance have the opportunity to try and make a play happen, perhaps on the far side of the net. We've seen that from Checkmate a lot, trying to get that low cycle going. And the passes in front. A crucial draw here. Tackle control for Checkmate. The center did a great job in that first game, and he wins a big draw here. EASHL sends it down low. Nipsley gives it right back. EASHL cycling around, back to the point. Now again back down into the corner. Shot blocked again. Both teams did a great job of clogging the shooting lanes in that first game. Handy throws it in front. Misty gives it back. Now to the point. Sam's a shot, glove save, and a loose puck. Ultimately recovered by Checkmate. That puck actually might not have made it to the goal. Still some fine positioning there. Late to the zones. EASHL, quick shot on. Vilio there testing Yom, and Yom able to make the save. A couple of close calls for both goaltenders in the early stages of the first period.
Yeah, and a much better start for Checkmate here. They're not being hemmed into their zone. They're able to get that puck out, and they're creating offense of their own. Let's see if tackle control can continue to win faceoffs.
And he does. EASHL has it. Now Nipsley quickly back again. Nipsley doesn't pull the trigger. Tried to find Nayats. And Nipsley picked up his first goal of the season in the last game. You might want to see him shoot a bit more. Samza can't sauce it through. Recovers, though. Samza still slaps it home. What a shot. What a goal. Samza with a bomb from point-blank range. And the Gotham Knights strike first for the second time in as many games.
Yeah, and that's a big start for them, but once again, they're going to have to try to build off it. But Samsa just having a really good series here in these two games, defensively and now offensively. Big goal for his team.
A tremendous shot there. What a heads-up play. You don't often see players from point-blank range with that amount of space say, you know what? Just going to clap this one home. But he does just that. We'll see how Checkmate can respond. And again, it's another offensive zone draw victory there. Vilio sends it down into the corner. Now again, tackle control is there. But a turnover. Here come the Gotham Knights on the counter. Handy dishes it off. Now Biggest 8 has it. Tries to circle back around. Great job there by the Checkmate defense. Defense in layers as the pass to Nipsey goes through, but not onside. 9:34 remaining here in the first period. Again, if you are just joining us, Checkmate taking game one by the score of 2-1 in overtime. Similar situation when the Gotham Knights scored the first goal of the game. A shot there just doesn't make its way through. And now Checkmate back in possession. EASHL, great block again from Misty. He's done a spectacular job of blocking shots thus far. As you have, again, another pass just not quite go through. Now again, here are the Knights. Samsa can't get the play through. Loose puck in front, nearly found its way over to Biggest 8. In response, Nayats has a little bit of trouble. Great defense there from Makasi. See the forechecking pressure on display from Checkmate right now. The Knights trying to find their way through, and they do. Biggest 8 has it, throws it in front. Misty was there, but didn't pull the trigger. Takes a huge hit from Mr. Nipsey. Backside, tackle control, dishes it off to Vilio. The defenseman can't get it low. Great job there by Biggest 8. And a counter-attacking opportunity. Still doesn't find its way through. Samsa though recovers. Big spin move from the defenseman. Drops it back to the point. Makasi has it. And sends it down low to defenseman. Samsa still in possession. Looks to cut in front. You tell, feeling good about his game right now with how much he's getting involved offensively as we have under 3 minutes to play here in the first period. Nipsey unable to find the pass down low. Scramble for the puck. Will kick back all the way to the Checkmate zone where Nipsey recovers. Under 2 minutes to play now. EASHL looking for space. Finds tackle control. Still fights for it. Shot on rebound. Azardi scores! Nayats on the rebound. Checkmate tied this game much sooner than they did in the first one. They're tied at 1 apiece.
Yeah, and pucks on net is the key right here. I mean, Checkmate, just a great job to crash the net. And, I mean, what else can you say? Tying it quicker in this one. They're having such a better start, and Gotham Knights have got to be careful. We saw them struggle to score in the last one, and Checkmate, I mean, if they can build off this, they're having a much better game. Gotham Knights not dominating as they were in so many parts, but you know, they're going to have to find a way here to get that extra goal because right now the pressure has got to be on them.
Absolutely. We'll see here what Checkmate are able to do. Puck back in the zone. Opportunity around the back of the net for Nayats. Tries to tuck it. The chance goes. Just doesn't go as Yomd is able to cover. So big goal there from Checkmate. We'll see what they're able to do here. On another offensive zone opportunity, tackle control. It's been huge on the face-offs thus far. But a big defensive zone draw win there for Misty. Doesn't send it around. Chance for Nipsey. The one-timer wide. Huge chance. Ultimately, it does not go. So Gotham Knights scoring the first goal of this game. A slap shot from point-blank range by the defenseman Samsa. But ultimately, it's Checkmate tying it on a rebound shot from Nayats. We're tied at 1 apiece after the opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a much tighter game, and I think that will benefit Checkmate. They're really seeming to be able to step up in these like big situations, and I mean, Gotham Knights just not able to maintain the advantage like they were last game. I mean, yes, that's a rebound goal. Yes, it's what you can consider a dirty goal, but that's exactly what you need to do to get your offense going. Both of these teams struggling to produce consistently. Checkmate seeming to make the adjustments necessary to start getting on the right side of things. And we'll see if that can continue here in this next frame.
As the second period is underway here, Checkmate in possession. Not able to get cleanly onside. We'll see what happens here now with Gotham Knights in control. Samza again pinching down low. Taken away though. Now here comes the counterattack from Checkmate. Can't get the pass over to Nipsey. Checkmate still in possession now. Nipsey drops it back to his defense, and we'll see what Checkmate's able to do here. Can they build upon that late tying goal? Knights back in possession. Trouble there. Nayat's able to win it back. Tackle control now. Dishes it back. Viljo from Make Axel. Now for Nipsey. Tests the arm on the short side. Gotham goaltender able to hold on. And we have another goal out of nowhere. The Gotham Knights seemingly turn the puck over. Checkmate come up with it, and they bury it. And for the second time in as many games, Checkmate have come back from 1-0 down to score their second goal. 2-1. Nipsey has his second goal of the night.
Yeah, and maybe he's going to start shooting the puck a bit more, because when he does, he starts to score some goals. A really unfortunate and maybe uncharacteristic turnover there in their own zone by Gotham Knights, and Checkmate makes no mistake burying that one. A huge time to come up with a goal, and now Gotham Knights on the ropes. You could kind of feel it coming. They need to be able to score, and right now they're just not able to do so, and Checkmate ahead.
It was a bad break there for Red Misty, the center of the Knights. He's done so well in helping out his defense. Brutal turnover there, but it won't cost the Knights. He's done so well, but a pass around the back of the net just bounced off the backboards, ends up straight into the hands of Nipsey in front, and even he is going to shoot that one despite his tendency to pass. So again, Nipsey, his first 2 goals of the season now. 2 goals in 14 games. Talked about a few weeks up, a good chance here now for the Knights off the counterattack. Handy drops it back for Samza, again down low. Samza tries to pass it through. Tackle control was there. And a pass through. Nayat. Space. Shot. Save. Loose puck recovered. Still Checkmate on the attack. Nayat still has it. Fighting for it behind the back of the Knights zone. Knights goal. Sam's able to find the pass over to Handy. Bit of space now. Pass through. Shot. He scores. What a counterattack from the Gotham Knights. Handy able to find biggest 8s. And how's that for a response? Gotham Knights have tied this at 2.
Exactly what they needed. What a rush play right there. We see this a lot. Checkmate really seems to overload what side the puck is on, and that can open up so many opportunities on other ends of the ice if you're able to get that pass through. He is, and biggest 8 makes no mistake. A bit of a overcommitment there from Uwiski, as he might have been thinking that pass was coming backdoor, but instead goes to the high slot, and biggest 8 with a howitzer, and he will not miss from there.
Again, we talked about it. Biggest 8 heading into tonight's games. Goal per game. It's on the board there. Chance sauces in front. Misty the chance. Just doesn't find its way to the back of the net. Checkmate scrambling a little bit. But a wise move to drop it back. As you see the forward checking pressure from the Knights there. 3 forwards in the zone looking to take away the space. Viljo, great job to gain the zone, but can't hold on to possession. As Misty again has it here. Handy. Tries to set it down low, gets run over by Nipsey. Misty still in possession, back again, shot, save, rebound is there, the second chance doesn't go through. Still, though, the Knights on the attack, the scramble for it. Nayats comes up with it, has a goal in this game, but he can't find his way past Makazi. Now again, Samza looking to lead the rush, as he's done so often through this series thus far. Looks to take the pass across, doesn't go through, the shooting lane is there too. It's Misty's pass, does not find the mark, nobody home. Tied at 2 now, under 6.5 to go here in the second period. Misty on the half wall, can't find the pass through the double team. Nayats will drop it back. And tackle control, joining the rush. There he is now, as the puck cuts back, unable to find the pass to the point. A chance in front doesn't go. That low cycle, nearly paying off the Checkmate yet again. Samza has it, throws it in front. Loose puck, still loose, scrambled for, and cleared out of the zone. Checkmate just desperate to get rid of it. Huge offensive zone chance coming up from Gotham Knights on the draw. We'll see if Misty can win it.
Yeah, and Samza is just all over the ice right there. You'll love to see it from your defenseman. Not only is he joining the rush, getting some offensive pressure, but he's also getting back on D.
Big win. One-timer does not go through. Let's see if Checkmate can get the puck out of the zone here. The rush from Viljo offside. 3:09 remaining. Again, game one, Gotham Knights score first, Checkmate win 2-1 in overtime. In this game, Gotham Knights score first, Checkmate score 2 unanswered. This time, though, the Knights are back in it. Biggest 8, the left wing, able to get the goal, and the Knights back on the attack here. Checkmate come back up with the tackle control. Can't feed Nayats as we approach the final 2 minutes to play here in the second period. Checkmate looking to gain the zone cleanly. They do. They send it down low. Nipsley finds Nayats, thrown back in front. Tackle control, just couldn't pull the trigger. Biggest 8 was there to help fend him off. Final minute of play, Checkmate back in possession. Tackle control, tries to feed Nipsley. He can't find him. We'll see if the Knights are able to put together a last-minute attack here. Final 10 seconds. It's Handy, down low. Misty throws it back in front. Loose puck, still fought on for, still loose. Scramble, and time expires. A lucky break there, perhaps a sigh of relief from Uiski. Checkmate, hold on. This game is tied at 2 apiece heading into the third period. Again, that rough turnover and the goal there from Nipsley, but ultimately not the difference maker. Biggest 8 was able to tie.
Yeah, and you know what? Gotham Knights, really good clock awareness there at the end, committing everyone there to the front of the net, just trying to whack away at it, get one of those blue-collar net front goals, unable to do so, but I really like to see that sort of effort and aggression coming out from a team. Oftentimes, you could get lulled into a sense of, just keep playing your positions, but it's those little things right that can make a good team. The clock's run out, just commit everyone in the offensive zone, commit to the front of the net, try to get lucky, and I like to see that from Gotham. They needed to score more goals. They're starting to do so, and they're really pushing for it as well. And we're going to get a chance here to see, I believe, just a rough turnover right there. I believe that's Red Misty trying to send that puck out front. And that's why sometimes you don't want to do that. As we take a look at that one-time goal, a perfect pass there from Handy towards the middle. And that's why it can be dangerous to overload on the puck side with that, sort of puck side attack right there. Because he went into, the defensive skill stick, and that negates him from being able to intercept. A perfectly timed pass, and Biggest 8 buried it.
Absolutely. Again, that Misty goal really stands out for me as well. An uncharacteristic mistake, one of those turnovers that can catch a commentator off guard. And it certainly did, but it just goes to show both these teams can put one on the board within an instant. So we'll see what happens here. Third period of play. Again, both teams walking away with at least 1 point. Gotham Knights, though, not going to be happy with just 1 point. They can walk away with 3 out of a maximum of 4 through this series, and that's exactly what they're going to look to pick up here. But Misty's pass doesn't go through. Free possession for Checkmate. Big hit there. Misty shot. Save by Uiski. Still an injured player down here. Can the Knights take advantage of it? Samza drives the net, and ultimately Checkmate come up with it. EASHL can't find the outlet pass. He'll regain possession, though. So a couple of chances for Gotham Knights just not coming together. See what Checkmate can do here on the counterattack. Julio able to find tackle control. Back to the point. EASHL again. Finds Nipsley in the corner. Down low. Thrown in front. Still fought on for. Loose puck recovered on the half wall by Biggest 8. Now again, a little bit of trouble through the neutral zone. The Knights, though, still in possession. Great job of recovering there. But the pressure from the likes of Nayats right now overbearing. Big hit there. The Knights still in possession and trying to find their way through. Nipsley, a great job on the back check. Stretch pass doesn't go through. The neutral zone battle picking up in intensity. Misty, now Biggest 8. Back from Misty. Samza, one-timer, doesn't go through. Another good shot block. Still Makazi in possession. Pinches in, throws it in front. Misty nearly had him on the near post. Makazi again, slap shot goes through. Loose puck, still fought on for. Checkmates come up with it. And they look to lead the counterattack here. Looking to lead the charge. Here's EASHL, finds the pass. Now Vilio not able to get over the line. Halfway through this third period, both teams with a chance. Gotham Knights seemingly the more likely to score. One counterattack is all it'll take, but it will not be there. Offside with 9:48 remaining in the third period as we get another look at that gigantic hit that somehow wasn't a boarding call.
Yeah, and Gotham Knights, when they start to pick up that aggression there, they really start to take over the game. And I think they're going to need to do that even in a tie game. Now is not the time to play it safe. Go for that offense.
As we have another offside call here again, 9:33 remaining, tied at 2. Second game between these two teams, of course. Stay tuned as well. After this series, we'll be bringing you another 2-game series between Farjestad and Vesa Pompa HC. Chance here for tackle control. Holds it down low in the corner, tries to feed it back to the point, taken away well by Handy. We'll see what the Knights are able to do here on the charge. Misty still fights for it. Covered now by Checkmate, looking to lead the counter. See what they can do. Tackle control and possession, circles back, drops it off for EASHL, and now again to the center. Over the blue line, tries to throw it on net, kicked out. And we talked about it, both teams doing so well with blocking the shooting lanes. EASHL, great chop to get it over to his defenseman. Drew in the pressure. Chance here. Mr. Nipsely with space. Shoots. Save by Yom. Got the pad on it. Excellently done by, again, one of the top goaltenders in the league. Mr. Nipsely not finding his third goal of the night. But it's still now Checkmate in possession. Not for long. Struggling to get over the blue line, at least consistently in this third period. Here comes Samza looking to step up. Nipsely takes it away. Tackle control, trying to fend off the defender. Does well, but Nipsely cannot do the same. Makasi was there on the offside. 3.5 to go here in the third period. You have Biggest 8 with it now. Gets it back to the point. Makasi shot, save. Biggest 8 can't tuck the rebound. Chance there on the far post. I think another save by Uiski. Great job there. Both goaltenders stepping up right now in crunch time. Chance here. Opportunity poked away, though. Recovered by tackle control. The wrap chance doesn't go. Covered by 1:33 remaining on the clock here, Sin. Huge face-off coming up.
Definitely, and tackle control's done a really good job of it so far, and I'm liking Checkmate's transition game. Let's see if they can sustain some offensive pressure here with a face-off win.
A big win, Sin. You called it. Nipsely has it. Sends it down low again. Tackle control back in possession. Delayed call coming up. Aaron pass. Touched up after a great stick lift there from Biggest 8, but a huge chance here. Checkmate going to the power play. Sin, who is it going to the box? In case I don't see who it is, if I'm not mistaken, it's Biggest 8, the left winger. And another big win there by tackle control. Down low again, thrown in front. Chance for Nayots. Big save by Still held in, though. Opportunity to shoot. Gets it, doesn't go. May have hit the post. Still in possession or Checkmate. Tackle control has it. Now again, looking for the shooting lane. Can't throw it through. Opportunity for Nipsely. Another chance for tackle control and a good block. And the puck is cleared all the way down with under 30 seconds to go. Can Checkmate win this one in regulation? See if they can break through. Tackle control has it. Tries to find Nayots perhaps. Loses it. Recovered by Makasi. Can he clear? Yes, he can. All the way down again. Final 10 seconds. One last chance for Checkmate on this rush to seal the deal in regulation. Nayots has it. Back shot. Deflection bid just wide of the post. That close to putting together a winning play, but Checkmate just can't quite do it. Sin, I don't know what it is, but man, do we attract overtime games. We're going to OT again between these two teams. Look at this spectacular save that helped get us there.
Yeah, just the tip of the pad. That's all he needed. And, you know, sometimes you just have to throw numbers out the window. Checkmate's power play has looked incredible. Granted, Gotham Knights penalty kill, not the strongest at only 63%, but still, Checkmate are getting their chances, and they are looking really good. I'm not too sure if they've made any adjustments, but whatever they're doing right now, they need to keep doing it because their power play is looking exceptionally strong, and unfortunately, they don't get the goal. I mean, unfortunate for them, fortunate for the Gotham Knights. They sustained a myriad of pressure there, but just, oh man, we get another look at that save. Just absolutely unreal there by Yom, and overtime again. I'm ready for it.
I am too, buddy. I mean, again, we talked about it. For some reason, we just seem to attract overtimes, and not to mention, I mean, we talked about it. Highlight reel plays, play of the week candidates. I mean, it doesn't always have to go to a goal scorer. Sometimes it can go to a goalie, as we had seen, and that might be yet another example. So here we go. We go to overtime. Checkmate already picking up 3 out of 4 points. The Gotham Knights looking to do the same. 2 points in the bag, but they're going to want that third, and a great job there from Misty. Clears this one early. 30 seconds to go on the man advantage for Checkmate. We'll see if they can get a clean breakthrough here. Nayots loses possession. This one again sent down. Recovered, though, not all the way down. Here comes EASHL over the line. Hands it off to Nipsely. Now it's Viljo. Shot blocked down in front. Puck held on to. They can't find the man coming out of the box, but we are back to even strength. Chance, Nipsley through, can't get the shot on net. Huge chance for Checkmate. Back to the point, shot blocked out, rebound is there. Doesn't go for tackle control. Nipsley tries to feed the point, intercepted well by Handy. He gets over the blue line, big spin move, still in possession, charges the net, now around the back of the goal, and Checkmate will settle it down. Huge chances for both teams. The stretch pass doesn't go. No icing or offside here, though. So again, Makazi tries to find the pass through. Now Big Estate in possession, over the line, tries to find the man, can't do it. Nipsley was there. Tackle control, can't find a pass either. Perhaps both teams having a little bit of trouble. Great job there by Nipsley, though, creating the chance. Dishes it back, extra pass, puck still loose. Opportunity on the left-hand side, big glove save by Yam to Rob. I believe that was Viljo there stepping up. Huge chances on both ends. Another huge face-off chance here in the offensive zone for Checkmate and tackle control, but he can't come up with it. Misty wins a big draw.
Yeah, he needed that right there, and Yom needs a bit of a rest here. He's looking a bit jumpy in the last two plays there in the net.
The Knights still in possession here. Big Estate tries to get it down low. Handy almost fed it back in front. Samza, now Big Estate can't get a shot off. Here comes Checkmate on the counter. Tackle control turns it back over, though. Big Estate, risky move. Nipsley's there. Shot from the point, saved by Yom. And we'll see what the Knights can do on the counterattack. Nipsley, we gave him a bit of guff for not having goals, but in terms of two-way wingers, he might be at the top of the list. Chance here now for Makazi. Throws it in front, goes all the way through, and back out to the neutral zone. Already halfway through this first overtime. Sin, we've called double overtime games this week. We might have another one on our hands here, although this one does go down for icing. Another huge chance for tackle control on the draw for Checkmate. We'll see if Misty can win another one in his defensive zone. Checkmate able to come up with it. Offside, though, as the shot just doesn't quite go through. Crisis avoided for now for the Gotham Knights.
Yeah, tough animation there for Viljo. He had to kind of try to, stay back to prevent any sort of rush, but also wanting to hold the line, just unable to do two things at once on that one.
Checkmate back on the attack. Viljo the space, back to the point. Nayat shot, deflection bid. Chance for Nipsley at the near post just doesn't come together. Outlet pass here, though. Misty tries to feed 8. He went for the rebound, missed the net. Still in possession, though. Big Estate on the half wall. Tries to step in front. Pass doesn't go through. Checkmate will settle it down. 7 minutes remaining here. Viljo able to find tackle control. Takes the hit. The Knights back in possession. Samza looking to step up. Can't find the space. Still fighting for it, though. And now again, Checkmate back in possession. Can they find their way through the neutral zone? They do. Nipsley over the blue line. Back to the point. Axel takes his time. Looking for the pass. Shot on. Saved by Yom. Recovered in the zone by the Knights, but ultimately turned over. Checkmate back in possession. But not for long. Now again, another turnover. Axel trying to make the play. Defended well by Handy. And here come the Knights yet again. Big Estate takes the hit to make the play. Fortunately, the rest of the play broken up. Checkmate settling it down. 3.5 to go here in the first of what could be multiple overtimes. Again, Checkmate took game 1 2-1 in overtime as this pass does not go through. And now the Gotham Knights in possession. Big Estate over the line, drops back for Misty. Now Handy around the back of the net, back for Misty, finds its way out to Makazi. Finds its way over to Samza. The quick passes now down low again, doesn't go through. Checkmate, under 2 minutes left. Nipsley drops back to his defenseman. Bit of traffic, can they find their way through the dude? Nipsley, but a shot, he scores! Out of nowhere, Nipsley gets over the line. He finds Nayats in front, who tucks it 5-hole. Checkmate. And it's the second time in as many games, come back to win it in overtime. Tough luck for the Gotham Knights, but what a time to win back-to-back games in OT if you're Checkmate on a playoff surge. What a feed, what a goal. Checkmate do it again. Spectacularly done.
Yeah, and you know what? They were decisive when it mattered there. Gotham Knights in that third period, they were really doing a good job of being aggressive on the forecheck, being decisive, putting the puck on the net. And there in that overtime, they just seemed maybe a bit too fancy. One too many passes. They weren't forechecking. They were sitting back. And while that's sometimes a good thing, you do want to be careful in overtime, it didn't really feed their advantage. And we slowly saw Checkmate starting to snowball there in that overtime. Their transitions were good. They were getting their chances. The face-off wins from tackle were just creating so many good offensive zone times for them. And Checkmate able to capitalize in the end. A huge 4 points for them. 2 points for Gotham Knights. So it's not the end of the world. They still have a decent result. It's almost as good as a split, but you got to feel you let 2 points slip away from you.
Both teams now tied. Excuse me, as the voice gives out. It can happen again. Sin, I've lost track of how many overtime games we've called this week, so it is tough at times for the voice to hold up. I take no shame in that. It really is. It goes to show the level of play that we've been able to call this week. I am certainly not complaining. That said, both teams now tied at 16 points on the season, as again we continue to barrel our way towards the playoffs here coming up very, very soon. Of course, we're not done yet with this broadcast, but to wrap things up here with these two series, again, Checkmate, a 2-1 win in overtime and a 3-2 win in overtime. Talking about the Gotham Knights, though, again, only walking away with 2 points, as you mentioned. I think, the promise was there. Defensively, maybe not as solid as you wanted to be. Again, we talked about one of the top 3 goaltenders in the league thus far. He held up his end of the bargain. A solid performance. I mean, really, all you can ask, 5 goals in 2 games, maybe not what he was looking for, but he held up his end of the bargain and made some big saves when they needed it. Again, that game had no business going to overtime had he not robbed Nipsely of a phenomenal chance. And again, you talk about Nipsely's goal that he did score a brutal turnover from Misty for the Knights. So ultimately, I think the goaltending did its job. The defense, perhaps not as solid as we would have expected. Sounds of those stepping up perhaps a little bit more than we expected. Although 9 points in 14 games heading into tonight, maybe that's kind of what we expected to see from him. I don't really know what's the big takeaways, Sin, here for the Gotham Knights in terms of what went wrong. Is it just a matter of bad luck? What do you do differently heading into your next series?
I think my biggest takeaway here is always play to win. I think a little bit in that overtime, Gotham Knights was almost playing not to lose, and that's never really the greatest strategy there. I think they're, like I said, a bit too hesitant, a bit too defensive in Checkmate. They just kept building off it and kept putting the pressure on, and Gotham Knights was at their best in the first period of game 1 and in the late, third period of that second game when they're pressuring, forcing those turnovers, and really pouring the pucks on net.
Absolutely. And for Checkmate, I mean, we didn't have to mention him too much, but Uwiski made some big saves back there at times as well. Absolutely. But again, perhaps just a better team performance. I think the key here, though, is that front 3 may have looked the best that they've looked all season long. Still some broken plays at times, some tough moments, but we talked about it, in terms of tackle control, his ability to really get the offense going. Nayots is a goal-scoring threat. And then if Nipsely could get the goal scoring going, what's going to happen? And if I'm not mistaken, what was that? 3 goals in this?
2 goals, I think.
Goals.
But then that big chance he had a couple big chances. I mean, he was just kind of flying all over the place. But I believe we're going to wrap this up and prepare for our second matchup here.
Absolutely. So again, thank you for joining us for that first 2 series. But don't go anywhere. We are not done just yet. We will be back after a short break with another 2-game series. Although, before we do wrap the break, again, a shout out to our sponsors in IS Esports and Prisma Gaming. Of course, check us out, NHLgamer.com, for all the information that you need. Also on Twitter and Instagram under the same handles. So, again, we do thank you for joining us. We will be right back after another short intermission. Of course, second intermission. Normally, we only have the one, but hey, again, we thank you for sticking with us through the slight audio issues between those first 2 games. Again, coming up, 2-game series between Farjestad and Vesa Pompa HC. 2 other teams battling to get their way into the playoff structure. And we are back. See, a short break this time, as promised. Sin, solid series to commentate there for the first time out. Again, 2 overtime games. Can't help but think we might be due for more overtime. That is just our luck, as it typically goes. Not that I would complain, again, as we are ready for our second series. Again, a home and home. 2 games to commentate here for you, to call for you. This time between Farjestad and Vesa Pompa HC, as you get a look at the lineups there. Of course, we will get into the individual breakdowns, but Sin, just at face value, what stands out? Who stands out for you here?
Well, on the Vesa Pompa side of things, I always kind of look to that back end to sort of get things going. Antonio loves to carry the puck on that left-hand side. Sometimes can get a bit too hyphy with it and can create odd man. So Farjestad, their transition game has to be strong. And you know what? It is. Their forward core is incredible. I mean, they don't get too much offense from their defense back there, but it's just as well because those 3 forwards up there can wreak havoc.
Absolutely, and that'll bring us to the individual matchup, starting off with the center matchup between these 2 teams, as we have Misa for Farjestad and Vesa Pompa for Vesa Pompa, GOALIE for Vesa Pompa. Although that'd be impressive to have a player on the team, named Vesa Pompa playing for Vesa Pompa HC. I say why not? But ultimately, Sin, I mean, when you look at the stats, they don't always tell the full story, of course, but the point differential here certainly captures your eye.
Definitely. And GOALIE also with a pretty good face-off percentage, and Misa with a lot to be desired there, sub 50%. But GOALIE, if he's going to want to, be that, deciding factor in the dot, he's going to have to stay out of the box. He leads his team with 12 penalty minutes in 12 games played. So again, he's going to have to try to stay out of the box. But yeah, the point totals, as we can see, just how strong the forwards from Farjestad are. Misa with 22 points, 12 games played.
Absolutely. Let's get a look at the winger matchup as well, because as you can see, Misa, not the biggest goal scorer in the world, more of the setup man, which is not surprising when you look at Afe and Bastion on his wings. For Vesa Pompa, though, not exactly, lacking offense when it comes to Nampis and Ekin as well in the lineup for these 2. Sin, I mean, is it just a matter of looking at the point totals and saying, okay, the 2 key guys are clearly the right wingers for both teams?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, Ekin, very, very strong player in his own right, both in, 1v1 and in 6s here, done, kind of all over the map in the esports scene. So I think Vesa Pompa really going to have to, kind of bank on him having some good games here. That being said, I mean, Farjestad's defense, not the best in the world. So if there's a time for Vesa Pompa to really get going offensively and boost those numbers, it's right now.
Absolutely. Although we will take a look at the defense and the players who aren't exactly big fans of the other team boosting their stat totals. And as you talked about, Antonio and Laminens, of course, the chemistry that these 2 have, not the biggest point totals in the world that you will see from defensemen. It's going to be very intriguing to see if someone like Rubitos really steps up and tries to generate the offense, perhaps like we saw out of the last series with the likes of Samza for Gotham Knights.
Yeah, and when we watched that last series, we were perhaps criticizing Farjestad their hesitancy to take shots from the point. When they started to do that, we started to see deflection goals, those rebound opportunities really start popping up. So I think Farjestad's going to have to keep doing that when they get that offensive zone time. And on the transitions, rely on their forwards. On the flip side, Antonio, Laminens, both very good puck movers in their own right. Antonio, perhaps the more offensive threat, doesn't have the numbers, but I think that's more of a reflection on the performance of his team. It is a tough transition coming from Pro Division, moving on to Elite Division, and I think they're still sort of transitioning here, and that's why it's so important for them to collect points right now. You do not want to find yourself in danger of demotion at the end of this season.
Absolutely not. That brings us to the goaltending matchup, perhaps the most intriguing individual matchup that we have right now. And I'm going to direct you to the certain sweatshirt there that one Disco Cricken is wearing, because he played for Farjestad in the ESHL. So Farjestad very familiar with the goaltender on the opposite side. However, as you can see, and perhaps crucially, not that much experience for him this season in terms of games played.
No, but when we did see him, he was lights out. I mean, playing incredibly well, always giving his team a chance to win. And on the flip side, Rundqvist, we mentioned maybe not having the strongest of starts, but I believe in one game he faced mid-20s in shots and kept his team in it, gave his team a chance to win. So the numbers may not be there, but if he gets called upon and needs to be relied upon, I have no doubt that he can, elevate his game in those tough situations.
Absolutely. Before we move to the keys to the game, let's get a quick look at the team stats here for these two teams. And again, Sin, it's going to come up in the keys to the game, but one thing, perhaps two things really do stand out here. It is such an intriguing matchup for a couple of different reasons, but what grabs your eye here?
Vesa Pompa's lack of scoring. It has to be that. I mean, as we said, tough transition, but eventually you're going to have to try to find ways to put the puck in the net, and they just haven't been able to do that so far.
No, you're not wrong. And I mean, again, the big thing that stands out is the old goose egg on the power play. That brings us to the keys to success. Let's take a look at the line for Vesa Pompa here, already talking about the power play. Now, again, we already talked about it. Keys to success, I mean, Disco Cricken back between the pipes. We're going to see what he can do with that 2-0 record. Actually leads his team in wins over their regular starter in Thunberg. Unfortunately for him, just a 1-9 record thus far this season. And as you would have seen with the team stats, opposites attract. Vesa Pompa, the worst offense in the league, but a middle-of-the-pack defense. Farjestad, middle-of-the-pack offense, but near the bottom on defense. Ultimately, something has to give. And then, of course, the power play differential. Farjestad, not that many opportunities on the power play, just 3 for 8, but that 37.5% is good for 4th best in the league. Whereas Vesa Pompa, as you saw, still without a power play goal within 12 games or through 12 games thus far. And unfortunately for them, it is a fantastic penalty kill that sees or that matches them on the opposite side. For Farjestad, 90% on the kill for Farjestad. They've taken the second fewest penalties as well. So not likely to see Vesa Pompa get that first power play goal here. Probably just jinxed Farjestad, but we'll see what happens there. And as for Farjestad, their keys to success, Sin, what stands out for you?
Well, we had activate their D last time. Now we see they have activated their D. As we talked about briefly when we saw the defensive matchups, their defensemen throwing the puck on net a bit more. The first 6 games that they played, the defensemen only had 6 shots. The next 6 games, 12 shots. So, like to think that, maybe they're listening to us a bit. Our analysis, going over quite well there. But move on to the next point. Every point matters. Farjestad 3-3 in those 1-goal games. Had 2 overtime wins against the Ghetto Firebirds on Monday. Vesa Pompa 2-1 in those 1-goal games. These points really add up, and you're going to need as much as possible, especially when you're in this point in the standings. And the last key, it has to be him, Rundqvist. When called upon, he can step up. His goals against got way better after the last matchup, from 3.38 to 3.08. Again, still a bit high, but we saw him face just such a high volume of shots, even for an NHL game. And he stood tall and made so many saves. So if he faces that pressure, perhaps that even makes him a bit more comfortable in net.
Absolutely. I mean, with Rundqvist, again, it's not often that we name an individual player. I mean, Nipsley, for, puns aside, it's not often that we name one individual guy who's like, okay, you are the main man for this team. But Rundqvist showed in those matchups against the Ghetto Firebirds that he was indeed the main man. He stole both of those games and helped Farjestad kind of overcome a slow start that sees them in 12th right now on 11 points. And of course, as we just talked about, the last 2 teams that we covered, both on 16 points. So Farjestad, you pull off the double here, you're just 1 point off the pace. So Sin, like you talked about, every point matters. Even for Vesa Pompa here, you pull off the double, you are up to, I believe, 10 points on the season. That is within striking distance. There is still time. So that's what's intriguing to me about these matchups here, because you can talk about the matchups at the top with teams like Havu, Yipivaskala, or Linköping. But at the end of the day, it really is this ridiculous playoff battle that we have here, as these teams are trying to find their way into the hunt and stay really away from those potential relegation spots. And we are ready to go. There you see Farjestad in white Vesa Pompa. Fantastic jerseys as always. Sin, how do you see it? How's this going to go? How do you think the grinder-heavy lineup is going to go for Vesa Pompa? Just caught that there with the brief moment that we had to look.
Yeah, pretty interesting there. Seems like they have a sort of a game plan here. If you're Vesa Pompa, though, it feels like you need these 2 points. And if you're Farjestad, you got to feel like you counter Vesa Pompa to a big degree. You know their defensemen are very aggressive, and your counterattack game is strong. If they get off to those early starts, they could really take over.
Now, we'll do our best here to call the action in favor of Farjestad. Of course, the lack of colors making it a little bit difficult, but we will do what we can to give the boys their proper credit, as that one was sent into the bench. We get another face-off here again. Misa and Jurgeli. We'll see who's able to take advantage. Misa, good start. We'll see how this goes now for Farjestad. Along the half wall, tried to send it down low, ultimately picked off and recovered. Lemonins and Antonio so often like those quick D-to-D passes. A little bit of trouble there as they run into one another. Antonio is able to sneak his way out of trouble. Jurgeli gives chase, but Farjestad back in possession. See what they're able to do here and see if they're able to get the breakout again. The front three, Afe, Misa, and Bastion, capable of putting up the points. See if they're able to do so here. Good bit of passing, and it finds its way back to the neutral zone. So a little bit of a stalemate here through the opening 5 minutes. As Vesa Pompa back in possession, but again, still struggling to find their way through the neutral zone. They finally gain the zone, and it's quickly taken away just as fast. Sin, definitely a stalemate at this point, although the opportunity potentially developing here. Farjestad in the attacking zone. Can they get a shot on? They cannot. This goes all the way back to their own zone.
Yeah, a bit of miscues going on right now for both teams. You know, just got to get the, get the fingers moving properly. Turnover here.
The opportunity off that turnover again, though, quickly falls apart. Vesa Pompa back in possession. Let's see what they can do. Antonio takes the hit, not able to make the play. Farjestad quickly back in possession. Can they get anything going on the counterattack here? At least not there. And we presume Bastion on that right-hand side looking to make the play. We approach the halfway point of this first period. Both teams still really struggling to get those high-quality chances. Chance for Vesa Pompa. Jurgeli still fighting for it. Ekin behind the back of the net, there to help. Still has it. Finds Jurgeli. Quick passing! Laminen's just not able to hit the goal on that rocket of a shot. And Farjestad's counterattack quickly shut down in response. First chance, the first high-quality chance, goes to Vesa Pompa after that spectacular play, as this one would have potentially been offside. Farjestad back in possession. Good pressure there from Jurgeli. Vesa Pompa not afraid to put the pressure on. Farjestad, though, the chance, the shot blocked down in front. Antonio at least able to get it away a little bit, but Farjestad recover. Chance here, thrown in front. The shot doesn't get through. Great job there by Vesa Pompa. 6.5 remaining here in the first. Miscommunication on that pass. Farjestad back in possession. Both teams with an opportunity. Chance, Jurgeli throws one on, and Rundqvist is able to make the save. 5:54 to go here in the first period.
Yeah, not a bad shot right there. Perhaps he wasn't trying to. It might have looked like he was going for the additional bump. He may have thought he couldn't quite get the separation puck from player there, but it ended up not being a bad shot. Unfortunately, can't win the face-off.
Good defensive zone draw win there for Misa. We'll see if Farjestad can get anything going on the counterattack. Up the middle here. Now out to the side. Recovered by Vesa Pompa. Nampis dishes it off. Again, the pass just doesn't go. Ekin not able to make the play. Vesa Pompa back in possession. Again, doing a great job of continually winning it through the neutral zone. Jurgeli, though, not able to keep that pressure on. Good hit there from Nampis, but not able to get the puck back. Farjestad still in possession. They send the puck in. It'll be recovered by Antonio. Quick outlet pass to Nampis. So Farjestad not looking like they want to put the pressure on with the forecheck. Looking like they're more than content in to just try and control the neutral zone and cut out the passes from there.
Yeah, and I think they're sort of waiting for Vesa Pompa to almost make a mistake. We see it time and time again. Antonio loves to jet up that left wing side to sort of be an extra, pass option right there. And Farjestad has such a good counterattack game that, they're going to wait for their moments here. And we'll see how that plays out in the rest of this period.
Puck recovered by Laminens. Now a chance down the left for Nampis. Vesa Pompa still fighting for it. Farjestad, though, back in possession. We approach the final minute. Again, a quick final minute. Opportunity here, though. A good bump there from Laminens to take it away. He's back in possession. Can he find the outlet pass? Farjestad trying to shut down the neutral zone. Laminens finds his man. Quick pass back. Pile up of bodies at the blue line. Farjestad still in possession. 5 seconds to go. This one will find its way all the way back to Disco Cricken. He hands it off to the half wall, to the sidewall, call it what you will. And that brings us to the end of the first period. So back and forth action there for the most part, but the neutral zone battle definitely the highlight of that first period. Going to be intriguing to see who's able to find their way through. Bit surprised there wasn't a penalty for that. Sin, a 2-for-1 special with no interference call.
Yeah, oftentimes that could, those go for penalties right there, but fortunate for them. But yeah, as you were mentioning, sort of a back and forth affair, but I didn't feel like there was too many high danger opportunities for either team. They're going to have to start trying to, get towards the middle of the ice, get to those more high danger areas to really start to put the pressure on. As you can see, only 1 registered shot from Vesa Pompa, 0 from Farjestad. So perhaps Farjestad going to have to, change their tune a bit here in the second period. They're waiting to counterattack, but with both teams seemingly struggling puck control wise and getting stuff going, Farjestad might have to take some initiative here and start putting pucks on the net and start trying to go for their cycle game.
Again, just 1 registered shot, as you see there, between the two teams. In the opening 20 minutes of play, the neutral zone battle definitely ever present through that opening 20 minutes. Again, both teams still technically in the hunt, even with Vesa Pompa at the bottom of the standings. Need to walk away with a win here. Farjestad able to take that one away, presumably Arubitas. Again, we'll do our best to represent Farjestad as best we can without the colors available here for this matchup. Hopefully have that fixed for you in the second game. Farjestad having a little bit of trouble gaining the line, and still good pressure from Vesa Pompa. And again, they regain the puck. Antonio tries to find Nampus, quickly cut out. Now again, a couple of quick passes here. Miza in possession. Over in the corner. Those skates identifiable by anyone. Shot doesn't get through. Second chance and a save by Cricken. Able to stand tall and track that one. So Farjestad able to get their first registered shot of the period. We'll see if Miza can come up with a big face-off win here to try and generate a little bit more offense. He has the slight edge. And now we're tied to 3. Yergely, a big defensive zone draw win there. We'll see what Vesa Pompa can do. Good spin move from Meckin. Down for Yergely. Shot again, just wide of the post. Laminen's that close for a second time. Smart from Vesa Pompa to look for him, though. The space is there.
Oh, yeah, and I love that from Vesa Pompa. They always seem, no matter what side of the ice they're on, to sneak in a defenseman here for that one-time opportunity.
Bit of space for Farjestad to work with. Now back to the point. Shot doesn't find its way through. Rebound there. Second pass wide. Risky plays there. Nearly paid off. I believe it was Miza who just could not find the space. Great extra look there, though, and Farjestad will have another offensive zone draw here.
Yeah, Disco Cricken was dead to rights on both of those chances. Got to be thanking his lucky stars, and neither one of those shots made it through.
So we are going to get a timeout here, called by Farjestad, as we pray and do not get our answers wished or granted. For Vesa Pompa to take advantage of that timeout, maybe change over the colors and help us out a little bit. Not
looks like we have a disconnect.
And it may indeed be a disconnect, which might actually be good for us. Indeed, we do have a disconnect. Unfortunately, been a while since we've had one of those moments happen, but presumably a player dropping for Farjestad. So we will try to get you back into the action and hopefully be able to keep track of that as best we can. Of course, we'll be picking things back up in the second period. I believe protocols in will just be calling it like, okay, first period counts, second period, start over fresh, and continue on from there. But we will keep you all updated as we go along. So again, an unfortunate moment there, but one of the things that can happen, as everybody, I think, well knows. But yeah, anytime you call games, of course, you never know when a random disconnect is going to pick up. So again, a scoreless game thus far. The first of 2 between Vesa Pompa HC and Farjestad. Again, disconnect has us, I don't want to say killing time, but killing time until the action gets back underway. As you get a look at the updated standings, if I am not mistaken, as indeed Checkmate on 14 games played now, as you see, in the top 7. So things are looking pretty good. Gotham Knights, they were tied for 8th, now in 9th. Although you see there's 16 points for every team between 6th and 9th right now. That is how close the race is for these playoff spots.
Yeah, and that's why, while it's so much fun to watch those teams, near the top of the standings, you cannot ignore the middle of the pack fight. And, sometimes that's even, crazier to watch sometimes. They're all so desperate for those points. These games mean so much during the regular season. At this point, it almost feels like each of these games are a playoff, game. You're fighting for your chance to participate in those playoffs. And if you're Vesa Pompa right now, you do have 2 games in hand among a lot of the teams here. If you're able to get 3 points out of this, you tie for 14th. If you're able to get, a full 4, you get into, you get above that. And that's where you want to be. Vesa Pompa, I won't say they're completely out of the playoff hunt, but at this point, they just got to get themselves out of the bottom of the standings, get out of that, demotion territory right now. You got to they're building up in the Elite League, right? They're trying to get better as a unit, kind of improve upon their chances. And, I won't make the rebuilding team analogy because really, they're not changing too many players, but it kind of is that. You're learning the ropes of this new division. And Farjestad, well within striking distance. If they get 4 points out of today, they are just 1 point out of that, log jam there, I guess you could say, from 6th to 9th place.
Absolutely. It would tie them for 10th with Ghetto Firebirds. And again, Vesa Pompa right now, you have to take advantage of the fact that Almost Famous and Lulea have both played the 2 extra games and are still under 10 points. So as we mentioned, the space is absolutely there for both of these teams to continue to work their way towards that left side of the bracket where you want to be as you get a look at some of the most recent results. Of course, the matchup between Checkmate and Gotham Knights that we covered for you earlier in this broadcast are there as well. A split between Kova Esports and the Ghetto Firebirds as well. A crucial result there for the Firebirds as they continue to try and battle their way towards the playoffs. And perhaps surprisingly, Unlucky Boys HC towards the bottom half of the standings with a 3-1 win over Kova as well. So again, this is an active situation. These teams, there really isn't a single team that is out of the hunt right now, which is what makes the Elite League as good as it is, in my opinion, is the fact that even the teams at the bottom, it's like, okay, we're halfway point of the regular season at this point, and everyone is still right there in the hunt with the opportunity to try and make it into the playoffs. So again, you want to talk about the teams that might be looking to come up from pro and take some elite spots. That's going to be a very tough fight if you're going to be looking to do that. So the good thing is we are just about ready to go. The restart looks to be underway. Fingers crossed for no other disconnects at this point in time. Again, right now, a scoreless situation through the first period. We disconnected in the early stages of the second period, and we should be good to go here from the early stages here. So again, technically, the first period will be the second period, so on and so forth. But again, we will do our best to cover the action for you. And again, fingers crossed, it holds on. So again, as you see, Farjestad in the white. It's an interesting, again, with Vesa Pompa. A couple of grinders up top still, with center and left wing option there for Goalie and Nampus.
And it's it just really goes to show with those, the puck movers on the back end. Vesa Pompa loves to utilize them for the offense. Big boys up front, forechecking, creating space for those defensemen to get their chances. I guess they might just burn the first period here. So we may
they might. So interesting way to call it. Of course, a couple of different options really based on what the teams want to do here. So Sin, the puck control of Laminance fully on display here. Although you can see that little bit of forechecking pressure from Afe of Farjestad, a little bit of bouncing now. The gamesmanship on display, as I guess indeed these two teams will be looking to settle down, just kill the first period, gladly take it and restart at the second period. So we'll see how this goes. Again, it should be a couple of minutes here to get this over and done with. So the good thing is, I do believe we do indeed have, again, we have the play of the week we can cut back to. We can cut back to us here too. Whatever works. Bottom line is, this is what happens when you have server issues and you have to try and make things work. So,
well,
at the very least,
behind the scenes, behind the scenes look for the fans out there, what goes on when you have to burn a period and apparently you skate circles. Some people just stand there. This goes a lot to show about the personality types of each of these players here. How are you as a person? Are you antsy? Are you chill? Either way.
Yeah. Do you take advantage and make it a water break? Do you get a face-off despite the puck not going anywhere? You never quite know.
It's like the Flyers versus the Lightning in that trap game. Just refs blowing the whistle.
Just sit there and bide the time that you need to bide. And I do believe, at the very least, to kill a couple of minutes here while we wait for these teams to wind down the clock, we are going to throw you back to one of the top plays of recent memory here in the ECL Elite Division. And we'll see, of course, how that one worked out. And we are back again, another look at a spectacular play. So again, as we've talked about, different ways teams can choose to kind of go about killing the time, whether or not they just want to continue or not. Teams elected to pick it up from the second period. So with 13 minutes left in the second period, we will be rejoining you again. A look at the lineups, the joys of, the servers in the current state that they may indeed be in at times. The disconnect, unfortunate. Teams right now, killing time, as you got to look at the lineups again. So when we pick things back up, of course, it still will be scoreless between these two teams. And as we talked about, Sin, the importance to walk away with points in these games, it's crucial. And it has to be frustrating for these two teams to have that disconnect happen, as again, the neutral zone battle in full effect, teams trying to pick up their offensive consistency. And now all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're a little bit more out of our rhythm here, having to kill time and get back to where we were.
Yeah, it definitely becomes, sort of a mental game at this point, and which team can kind of respond quicker. That being said, the start between these two wasn't exactly the fastest start that we've ever seen, so perhaps this gives them an opportunity to kind of hash out some of the issues that they're having. Antonio Lehmanen's running into each other, missing a couple passes, and Farjestad just really not applying any pressure whatsoever. So perhaps we're going to see some adjustments being made here at this break before we pick it up in the second period.
We shall see how it plays out, of course. Now, the masterclass in trying to kill as much time as you possibly can in unforeseen circumstances, because the question always is, do you go back and retread some of the setup information that you had? Do you sit here and rant and ramble? Because Lord knows I can rant and ramble all day about anything and everything. And Sin,
I'll take a break. I'll go get some water.
Absolutely. That's not to say that you don't also have the gift of gab as we get a look at the regular season stats again. But again, you can read that information whenever you want, because right now what we're doing is we're just having a chat, just you and me. How are you? How you doing? Is everything
fantastic?
Well? I hope. Yeah. For you, Sin, I mean, it's still a little bit early there. I mean, it's about 1 p.m. That's early for me, at least with my normal schedule. But one of the things that we do here is we make sacrifices to be able to call games like this for you. Even when these disconnects happen, they are just about at the end of the first period. I promise you, I don't want to throw my head against this wall. I'm having a great time. I promise you. So again, no matter where you are joining us from, we do thank you for joining us and sticking with us. It has been an interesting cast in terms of some slight audio issues, but hey, you know what? We're upfront about these things. We're with you. We're not just going to sit here and be like, nope, perfection, because you know what? If you claim perfection, you're wrong, because these things happen. But you know what? The team that we have here, we strive to bring you the best cast that we can, and we're going to be as open and honest with you as possible. You want honesty? I'm tired as hell, which is why I can rant and ramble like this, but we are making the best of it. Damn it. We are almost ready to resume this game again between Farjestad and Vesa Pompa HC. Now the thing And I have to mention here, of course, as always, is we do want to thank our sponsors. And again, you made a great choice sticking with us. You know you did. Don't make any second guesses. ISE Sports, Prisma Gaming, we love you, and thank you for supporting us. If you haven't supported us yet by dropping a follow on this channel, then I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. But also, once you do that, check out NHLgamer.com. Everything's there. All 4 tiers of the ECL. There's 196 damn teams, all determined to do one thing: get to the very top, the largest prize pool in competitive sixes. It's there for the taking. It's there for the taking. You just gotta be good enough to grasp it firmly. Grasp it, in fact. Also, make sure, of course, to check us out on Instagram and Twitter at NHL Gamer. Very important there to keep up with us in every way that you can. And of course, on NHLgamer.com, it's not just the 4 tiers of the ECL, it's the North American side of things as well. Playoffs coming up very, very soon. Sim, we got less than 2 minutes left of in-game time. Do you have any words here, or should I let's just keep rolling? Let's just keep riffing. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking I'm ready to get back into the action here, but one more plug for us on the NHL Gamer YouTube side of things. We are beginning to upload all of the VODs, so if you missed the live stream, if you can't catch the replay on Twitch and want to see a nice little cut-down version, go subscribe to us on YouTube.
Absolutely. We are back. Let's do this. As the action picks up again, the scoreline that you see is the scoreline that you get. As we are still scoreless here in this one. Vesa Pompa win the draw. Antonio looking to lead the rush. Quick opportunity here. Charges the net and just misses wide to Rundqvist's right. Vesa Pompa still in possession. Slap shot doesn't go through. Good block. Laminen's now in possession at the point. Dishes it down low. Vesa Pompa. Bit of a step here. Chance for Laminen's not able to throw it on. We'll see what Farjestad are able to do here. Afe not able to find the pass. Again, we thank the boys for getting the colors on for us. Help give Farjestad fair credit and make this cast even better. As it cycled down low. Ekin off the back of the net, recovered by Antonio. Battled on, Laminen shot block. Second chance and a glove save, perhaps from Rundqvist, near call for a Nampis there of Vesa Pompa, just not able to find the back of the net. And Farjestad going to try to slow this down, but they have a bit of space here. Meinzer sends it around. Afe gives chase. Won't find its way to the point. Still fought on for there by Ekin. And again, still fought for. Farjestad trying to make the most of this opportunity as Vesa Pompa turned this one over. 7.5 to go. Chance here, a little bit of space for Bastian. Quickly disappears. Vesa Pompa still controlling in the corner. Now again in the left corner there of the ice. Antonio trying to find the space. He and Laminen's a quick give and go. Antonio finds his way over the line, takes the hit, and this one is offside with 6:25 remaining in the second period.
Yeah, and we're really kind of seeing Vesa Pompa jump out early here, and we get a good look at kind of their strategy here. Very, very, very active with their demon. And they're almost like 2 additional forwards at times. And, you know, Antonio likes to be the one to jump into the play, lead the rush, be the additional pass, and Laminen's back there just seems to be that one-time option.
Absolutely, a big stretch pass for Ekin. He's going to pick it up, shoots and scores out of nowhere. Vesa Pompa, the Hail Mary play, and Ekin finds a way to tuck it. What a goal for Vesa Pompa. They grab the lead.
Yeah, and just such a bang play right there, and you'll love to see stuff like that. The aggression, the timing coming out from Vesa Pompa. There is something just so satisfying as a player to get that slap pass all the way down the ice. The perfect back bounce off the end boards, and Ekin making no mistake, burying it on Rundqvist.
Great pass from Antonio. Chance here, though, for Farjestad. We'll talk more about that play in a minute. Puck in the corner now around the back of the net. Bastian's there, back to the point. Totali now for Rubitas, shot blocked. And Vesa Pompa regained possession. Chance here now again for Ekin. Looks to cut in. Slap shot, save, blocker by Rundqvist. Laminen's very unfortunate to not have a goal thus far. Recovered. Ekin doesn't pull the trigger. Back across. Backhand just wide. May have been stopped by Rundqvist again. Huge chances for Vesa Pompa. The space is there. This one will be offside. Send the point back to the goal. The shot from Antonio to hit Ekin on the breakaway. Kind of a tell. You could, assume the communication was there with Ekin not changing his camera and just focusing solely on his player.
Yeah, and that's, such a, like I said, it happens so quickly, but, you can kind of, if you're experienced enough, especially if you play forward and play with some of those Hail Mary options, you can see it coming. And really satisfying for it to go in.
Miza throws it in front, often not able to pull the trigger. Farjestad pressuring here now, though. Down by a goal. Final minute of the second period, a fast minute as well. We'll see if Vesa Pompa is able to get a late attack. Ekin in possession, dishes back to the center, doesn't pull the trigger. Secondary pass off the spin, intercepted by Rubitus, and that will do it for the second period. So again, we thank you for sticking with us through the restart, and hopefully it was worth it. Vesa Pompa, a very impressive team goal to grab the lead here.
Yeah, and very good defense at the end there by Rubitus, reading that play that they wanted to go backdoor to Ekin on the one-timer on that tough angle. And, you know, sometimes as a defenseman, you're more hesitant to sort of move towards the back of the net because it's very easy to get caught out there and then you can't defend the slot. But Rubitus, great intercept right there. But overall from Vesa Pompa, out of that break, they seem like the much more prepared team. They were on top of Farjestad almost from the very beginning. They're getting their offense down, putting the pressure on, and then that Hail Mary opportunity there buried by Ekin. And Farjestad, just at the same time, seems to be sitting back, waiting for these counterattack opportunities. And as you see, once again, 0 shots registered in that period.
It's been a very rough start for Farjestad offensively. Ekin, the team leader in points, the team leader in goals, and you can see why with the heads-up play there to take it blocker side on Rundqvist. It has been a very rough start for Farjestad. I think that's about as nicely as we can put it. They've had some opportunities, but Sin, as you just mentioned, at the end of the day, not a single registered shot, we believe, at least through the first period and now through that second period. Off the back of the restart, the offense has to get going. Vesa Pompa win the opening draw. A bit of space here. Jurgeli throws in front. Ekin denied. Loose puck still there. And ultimately cleared away for Farjestad. But a very close call. Just 30 seconds into the period. This Vesa Pompa team, again, not exactly looking like a squad. That's in last place right now. Ekin in the corner. Dish it low. Jurgeli in front. Loose puck. Still scrambled to bop for. Farjestad comes up with it. Bastion not able to find that bit of space. And Farjestad will drop it back into their own zone as they look to regroup and get a clean break in, and they do. Bastion has it. Back to Rubitus. Bastion again in the corner, around the back. Shot, save! Opportunity again on the doorstep. Just doesn't go. Disco Cricken robbing a former teammate there. And an opportunity here now for Vesa Pompa on the counterattack. Quickly taken away. See what happens here on the scramble. Farjestad still in possession. Here's Bastion. Not able to make the most of that. Vesa Pompa back in possession. So we got a couple of chances for Farjestad. One big save from Disco Cricken. They just weren't able to get that secondary opportunity that you're going to need to beat a goalie of his caliber. Vesa Pompa setting up. Ekin has it again, back to the point. Antonio now steps in, tries to throw it in front, straight into traffic. Counter-attacking chance for Farjestad, quickly snuffed out by Vesa Pompa on the back check. They have space here, though. Miza back to the point. Rubitus brings it in the corner, finds a center again, back to Rubitus, shoots, blocked in front. Huge chance there with Cricken out of position, but still in possession is Farjestad. Bastion looking for space, throws it in front, backhand save by Disco Cricken. Makes the save again. Sin, uncharacteristically, we've seen him scramble at times, but solid in positioning there.
Yeah, and Farjestad finally starting to get that offense going, almost seeming like they're in a bit of desperation here, as they can't come up with that loose puck in front of the net.
Close call. We'll see if Vesa Pompa's able to do anything here. We quickly get our answer. Rubitus finds Afe. Farjestad looking to step in. Good bit of pressure there. Farjestad still attacking the puck. Sent over to the other side of the Vesa Pompa zone. Good play by Ekin. Antonio now in possession. Final 10 minutes of regulation here. Vesa Pompa trying to fight their way back into the playoff picture. As Antonio recovers there, Lehmanens has it now. Looking for space, gets the outlet pass, but quickly turned back over. Totali picks it up in his skates. Rubitus finds Miza. Back to Rubitus again. Miza in the corner, throws it in front. Intercepted well by Ekin. He sends it around the back of his own zone. 7:30 left here in regulation. Ekin has it. Tries to find the stretch pass to Jurgeli. Doesn't quite go. Chased down by Nampis. Now to the point. Sent down low again. Good interception there by Totali. They try the same play. In return, chance for Afe. He scores! Anything you can do, I can do better. Farjestad handed Vesa Pompa just a taste of their own medicine. Farjestad have tied this game at one apiece.
Yeah, and making good use of their speedy wingers and forwards right there. We've had 2 goals in this one, both of them coming off of the Omaha players, and you know what? If you're a caster, you'll love to see it. The excitement level is at its peak right now. 1-1 here. Plenty of time left to break it open further for both of these teams.
You mentioned Farjestad's newfound aggressiveness in this period. It paid off there, catching Vesa Pompa on that overly aggressive forecheck, and we still see it now. All 3 forwards in the zone. All 5 players were in the zone there. They go for it again. Bastion is going to chase this one down, throws it in front, doesn't find the target, and have a chance on the counterattack for Ekin. Can he gain the line? He does. Down low, Napist looks to cut in front, but Bastion was there on the back check. Final 3.5 minutes to play here in regulation. Going to overtime wouldn't be bad for either of these 2 teams to pick up a point. Might be rough on our voices, though. It would be our 3rd overtime game of the day in as many games. Bastion, big play, breakaway, scores! Farjestad out of nowhere have turned it around. It might be an own goal for Antonio, but for Farjestad, you're not going to care. 2 quick goals out of nowhere, and what a tough break for Vesa Pompa and Disco Cricket in goal.
Yeah, very unfortunate. I think Disco Cricket going for that flying poke check, but he looks like he pressed the wrong button. Got a desperation save to the left-hand side, and it was a great play by Antonio with the defensive skill stick to knock the puck loose. And had Disco Cricket got that flying poke check, that puck doesn't go in. But as it stands now, an own goal from Antonio, and Farjestad counterattacking once again.
Afe picks this one up in the corner. Vesa Pompa, desperation is going to be setting in. Final minute here. Ekin comes up with it. You're Vesa Pompa, you can't let this one get away from you. Miscommunication there, though. Antonio will recover. Have Farjestad literally stolen points out of the hands of Vesa Pompa. Under 45 seconds to go here in the 3rd period. We'll see how this one plays out. Big time goal there on the turnover at the blue line. Farjestad, 2 quick goals. Can they hold on? Vesa Pompa looking to get back into the zone. Ekin has it. Laminen's stepping in, finds Ekin, looks to get it in front. Chance on the doorstep. Rundqvist may have gotten a pad on that one. Here comes Farjestad. Stretch pass. Afe has it. Can't get it to Bastion. Great poke check from Antonio. Here comes Vesa Pompa again. Jurgeli has trouble. Maiza able to pick it up. He'll send it down into the corner. Afe chases. Has it. Looks for space. Finds the center again. Tries to throw it on. Miscommunication. 10 seconds for Vesa Pompa. Ekin is tripped. Vesa Pompa going to the power play. Offensive zone draw. Could be a brutal mistake from Maiza. The center to the box for Farjestad. Unbelievable setup here to end this game, Sin.
Yeah, sometimes on those rush plays, it's not a bad idea to take a trip there, but I'm a little confused about that one. He did have 2 defensemen on, back there to help him out there, so I think it was just a mistake made by him, especially you're the center. You're the guy used to taking faceoffs, and already Jurgeli has the advantage statistically. So, I mean, it's even in this game, but these big clutch draws, Jurgeli, if he can win this Force team, you see them in the aggressive faceoff set. Let's see what set play they have.
Vesa Pompa come up with it. Ekin drives the net. Loose puck. Rundqvist trying to hold on. Still a scramble for it. Rundqvist has it. 1.4 remaining. The big man standing tall for Farjestad. Vesa Pompa potentially out of time here. We'll see what happens. Look for the tie-up from Bastion. He wins it clean. Farjestad win the game. 2-1 is your final. Sin, we just witnessed, in my opinion, a robbery. Not due to bad luck for Vesa Pompa, but Farjestad, to the first 2 periods of that game, no business whatsoever in terms of walking away with the 2 points, but ultimately, they do. 2 quick goals in the 3rd period. Bastion, the turnover, takes advantage. I mean, against him, that started with insult to injury as both teams call it the Sedin play, call it the Pettersson play, but regardless, the slap pass off the backboards resulted in the first 2 goals, but it was Bastion's forechecking pressure at the opposition's blue line that really paid off there in spades, as ultimately he gets the breakaway. And again, for Disco, perhaps a tough break. Don't think he meant to do the dive that he did there. Probably kicking himself over that if he did mean to do it. Frustrating regardless, but what a result for Farjestad to walk away with 2 points. And for Vesa Pompa, how do you come back from that? You just let 2 points slip through your fingers.
It's tough, and you're struggling offensively as well. You know, you're looking like you're getting a lot of chances. You get that goal, but once again, it's not enough. You only scored 1 goal. You have to be able to score more than 1 goal, because any sort of bounce can happen. Any sort of weirdness can happen. And, you know, I'm gonna point to Disco Cricken right now. He doesn't seem 100% comfortable in the crease. We've seen him kind of jumping around out of position a bit, and then, you know, that sort of misclick, I guess you could call it, on that partial breakaway. It just seems like he's not 100% on his game. He's gonna have to, you know, take a deep breath here, sort of reset, get back into the, you know, his game mentality, because with a team that's struggling to produce offensively, those 1 goal games are going to be huge. Maybe even 1 goal is going to have to win it. Disco Cricken may have to try to steal a game for his team, and as of right now, he's not quite on his game to be able to do so.
Again, Disco heading into today, 2 games played, 2-0, not the normal starter for Vesa Pompa. But again, Sin, you just mentioned it with Vesa Pompa's offense, the dead last offense in the league, averaging just 1.17 goals for per game, compared to Farjestad, who entering that game was at a 2.42, which was good enough for 6th in the league. So it really does kind of sum up what the situation was. Of course, these were the stats heading into that game. Ultimately, I want to talk about Vesa Pompa a little bit more. I guess just as you mentioned, you know, the offense needs to step up and find that consistency a little bit more. Ekin proving to be dangerous. The defensemen both willing to get involved into the play. Laminen's had some tough luck, though. There were 3 chances, even as a right defenseman, where, you know, if that shot hits the net, he has a goal. It just didn't come together for them. Is it a matter of changing up the strategy, or just do you need a little bit of better luck to have not gotten that first goal? And if you want to explain just quickly, breeze over the keys to success for those who might have missed it, feel free.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit of luck, but their strategy's good. And again, we feel like they probably, quote unquote, deserved to win that game, but they still only scored 1 goal. You're not going to win too many games with that. But yeah, these keys to the game, very important. Disco Fever, he needs to be good. He's 2-0 so far, you know, after kind of, you know, a rough start for Thunborg. But in this game, Disco Cricken has not looked like the Disco Cricken we saw the last time. He seemed just a little uneasy. And again, worst offense, middle of the pack defense for Vesa Pompa. Farjestad, middle of the pack offense, bad defense, but they only allow 1 goal in that one. So they got the goals they needed. And the power play, we didn't see too much special teams time. And we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what happens. But either way, Vesa Pompa have got to find a way to score more goals, just plain and simple.
Absolutely. And again, you talked about it starts on the back end, you know, the defenseman able to move the puck, but ultimately it was Farjestad really stepping up that forward-checking pressure. Once they went down 1-0, as you said, Sin, it's like we've seen teams today playing to not lose in a way, and that kind of seems like what Farjestad was doing. They just weren't getting the offensive chances that you would have expected. The second they opened up and started getting that little bit more, you know, creative, I mean, literally hitting, maybe not creative, because they literally hit Vesa Pompa with the same thing that Vesa Pompa hit them with, you know, with the long distance slap shot off the boards to, you know, break open and get the opportunity. I believe, again, it was Afe burying that one. But again, once they started to pick up that pressure, you saw Bastion on the winning goal, you know, making the play at the opposing blue line, getting the breakaway. It was ultimately a tough break for Disco Cricken, as he confirmed in chat, not his intention to dive the way that he did. But ultimately, it is a big win for Farjestad, as again, you get a look at their keys to success that we identified heading into that first game. We are just about ready for the second game. But again, we need to continue to see it. Will Rubitus and Totali continue to be a little bit more involved? We said every point matters. Farjestad just stole away 2 points from Vesa Pompa, keeping Vesa Pompa down in last for the moment. Now all you can really do is hope to just kind of get back into the pack with a win here. I mean, another win for Farjestad is going to be huge. And again, we talked about it with Runkfist. Just the 1 goal allowed, couple of tough breaks for Vesa Pompa. But the goaltender for Farjestad, again, his numbers maybe not quite where you would have expected. We're going to see what he can do, and if he can continue to stand tall and really kind of get this hot streak, and, you know, really solidify it as we are ready to go. Again, this will be our final game of the afternoon, unfortunately, but Sin, it should be a doozy. Vesa Pompa in the white I don't know what kind of, I don't know if you want to call that off gold or not, but Farjestad in the green. Again, Farjestad taking it 2-1 in regulation somehow. We'll see what happens here in the second game. And again, the fourth and final game of our broadcast here for you tonight. And it's Farjestad quickly on the attack. Rubitas has it back again. Shot blocked. Picked back up. Thrown in front. Still a loose puck. And ultimately, Vesa Pompa come up with it. Nampis having a little bit of trouble. Dishes it off to Ekin. Along the half wall. Back to the point. Again, back down to Ekin in the corner. Around the back of the net now. Looking for that bit of space. Again, back to the point and Sin. What do you see Vesa Pompa looking for there? As this one's poked away. Farjestad might have a chance, but I want you to keep that point in mind as this one is intercepted. What do you see Vesa Pompa looking for offensively?
I see them trying to look to open up spots in the middle, but it was a bit of a miscue right there. The cycle down low, the rollout, Lehmanen sent it back down, but both Jurgeli and Nampis had already started to move back towards the middle of the ice, so it ends up a turnover. Maybe one too many passes here, but they just got to look to throw the puck on a bit more. I think they're being a little too cute with it at times. Yes, those one times and, point shots are important.
Oh, opportunity there, still in possession here. Farjestad thrown across, intercepted well. There's also a huge hit back in the neutral zone. Nampis not called on what could have been a charge or a board. He's in possession of it now on the half wall. Back to the point, Lehmanens gets the shot on target. Rundqvist was there to make the save. Lehmanens again tries to send it back in front, can't do it. Here's Bastian for Farjestad, dishes it off to Afe. Now the defenseman pitching up, loose puck, shot doesn't go for Bastian somehow. He's still in possession here, though. Tatali sends it back down low. Great opportunity generated there initially from the charge by Rubitas to get involved in the offense. We talked about Farjestad getting that defense involved. They're in possession here. Rubitas has it in the corner. Sends it around to Bastian. Not able to get the pass out. Good chance for Vesa Pompa. Ekin throws it on. Save. And no rebound, at least into the hands of the attacking team. Rubitas back in possession. Able to find his man Misa. Now Bastian there as well. Looking for space. Back to the point. Totali again down low. Pass in front doesn't go. Still a chance on the doorstep. Loose puck scramble. And somehow, some way, Disco Cricken comes up with that one. Farjestad perhaps incredibly unlucky to not have a goal yet in this game.
Definitely. They're getting their chances, and there's still those scrambles in front where Disco Cricken maybe perhaps oversliding, but in that case, he had to kind of protect that side of the net.
Big face-off win, Bastian. The chance in front, he scores! Afe off the feed from Bastian, who sneaks away with it off the tie-up. And bad luck or not, from the start of the game, Farjestad take advantage of this one. They grab the lead.
And this is where it could get dangerous for Vesa Pompa. You might have felt robbed in the first game, like you may have deserved that win, even though you didn't score enough. But in this one, Farjestad are taking it to them, cranking up that aggression, and we're seeing it pay off in dividends for them, taking the lead here early on in this second game.
See what happens here again through the latter half of the first period. Farjestad now 3 unanswered goals dating back to the last game, really picking up the momentum. Brutal turnover there. Pass in front, he scores! Vesa Pompa out of nowhere off the defensive turnover. Nampis is able to bury that one off of the feed. And Sin, 3 unanswered goals. We may have jinxed them because that was a brutal turnover for Farjestad. Vesa Pompa tie it up nearly immediately.
Yeah, and pretty tough break right there for the Farjestad defense, trying to clog that passing lane, just not able to come up with the intercept, sort of facing the wrong way. And Nampis makes no mistake, burying that one on the one time. That's exactly what Vesa Pompa needed. A quick response here. Now let's see if they build off of that. They forced that turnover with their forecheck. And let's see if they keep that up throughout the course of this game.
Bastian trying to fight his way through the pressure. We're going to see a power play here for Farjestad. It's going to be Jurgeli going to the box here off of that hit. A little bit of a delay here, but Farjestad again going to the power play. The huge hit there. Actually, it's going to be Nampis to the box. Out of nowhere. It looked like it was going to be Jurgeli, but ultimately Nampis to the box, the left winger for Vesa Pompa. So a huge chance here. You want to talk about Farjestad, giving a goal right back. Huge chance on the man advantage. We'll see what happens, but a good win there for Jurgeli to quickly neutralize that offensive zone draw. Farjestad going to look to work their way back into the zone. Willing to work it around to the defenseman to try and open up those lanes. Send it all the way back to their zone now. Rubitas has it. Tries to find that little bit of space. He finds Misa ultimately. Battling for it. Tries to get it back to the point. Rubitus has it. Dishes it over to Totali. Steps in, looking for the pass. Finds it down low. Loose puck in front and cleared as Jurgeli was able to find that one. Rundqvist comes out to play it. Banks it off the glass. Intercepted, though, by Antonio. He looks to lead a little bit of a counterattack here. Big spin. Takes the hit. Puck finds its way over to Bastian. Farjestad back in possession. One more chance here. Nearly back to 5-on-5. Bastian again now. We're back to even strength. And Totali making plays happen. Misa back to the point for Rubitus. Quick D-to-D passes. Farjestad looking for that one clean lane. Shot on. Second chance. Puck still loose. And Vesa Pompa come up with it. Can they get anything going on the counterattack? Jurgeli finds a bit of space. Laminen's down low for Ekin. In front. Big save. Rundqvist denying him with the blocker. Farjestad's goaltender coming up huge. That one's going to go all the way down for icing. But a bit of promise there for Vesa Pompa getting that offense after a successful kill.
Definitely, and with a face-off win right here, they could continue to build on that pressure and sustain something. If they keep that up, I can see them scoring a goal.
Indeed, there's a big face-off win to try and get the numbers back in your favor. Laminens has it now. Ekin down low for Jurgeli. Tries to send it back along the wall. This one will kick all the way back out to the neutral zone and ultimately the Vesa Pompa zone as we approach the final minute. In a fast minute of play here, it's going to go by quickly, but a chance still for one of these teams to break through. Ekin, space, can he shoot? He does, saved by Rundqvist. From what I could tell, unless it hit the side of the net, huge chance there for Vesa Pompa. As Farjestad going to look to dish this one out. Late chance, Bastian can't get the shot off, it's off the skate, and that will bring us to the end of the first period. Huge chance late for Vesa Pompa. Sent a much different stat line, mainly in terms of shots, than we saw in that first game.
Definitely. And, you know, Farjestad not afraid to put the puck on the net right there. And that's what they need to do. They get a, tie game, but they got a goal for it. And they're starting to get, more chances and such. But, we can see the forecheck right there from Ekin. Such a good player. Such, good with that skill stick. And feeding the puck over to Nampis, who's the beneficiary of that pretty much singular effort by Ekin there on the forecheck to create that goal. Vesa Pompa doing a good job. However, in the offensive zone, there's a bit of a miscue there on the end of the period. I feel like Antonio and Laminens started their collapse. We often see defensive players start moving into that high slot when they get the cycle going. I felt like they did it a bit early there, and Jurgeli didn't have the pass back to the point option that he needed.
As Vesa Pompa, early bit of offense here. We'll see if they can take advantage of it. Ekin along the half wall, back to the point. And the pinch is down here. Laminens finds Ekin again. They were able to cycle it down low. Not able to find the shot. Antonio turns it over. This one's sent down. This will go for icing. Rafa not able to make it interesting. He nearly did off of that bit of tomfoolery, we'll say, from Laminens. That's a dangerous play.
Yeah, it's a bit of the, you're playing for your stamina bar, trying to recharge that, but also don't lose the icing.
Face-off win here. Shot doesn't go through. Second chance. Rundqvist able to maintain position. Shot never came. Here's Farjestad now again. Nearly offside. Forced to circle back was Bastian. This one on goal. Rundqvist will take the save. Farjestad will look to regroup. Totali able to find his man. A couple of quick passes here. Safa in possession now back to the point. Rubitus, again, the quick pass is back down into the corner. Misa not able to get it in front. Still has it down low in front. Big save from Disco Cricken, robbing the man on the doorstep. Huge save for Vesa Pompa. We talked about Disco Cricken and the struggles. Big opportunity there as the pass just doesn't go through. Huge interception from Totali. And here comes Farjestad again. They send it down low. Misa gives chase, battling Laminens. Antonio trying to come up with it. Still fighting for it. And ultimately, Vesa Pompa still not able to clear. Misa has it. Shot. Rebound. Puck still loose. Kicked out to the corner. Good save again by Disco Cricken. Really stepping up his game since as we talked about him needing to do. We'll have you get a word in on that in a moment unless something else happens. It's the neutral zone battle here picking up. Chance for Nampis. Throws it over for Laminens. Now again along the half wall. Good hit there from Afe. And they find Bastian on the breakout as they so often do. Not able to maintain possession, battling Antonio. Got it back for a moment, only to hand it straight to the defensive partner. And Laminens, chance here. Jurgeli can't get the shot off. Second chance for Ekin, not able to get it through. But another moment of Vesa Pompa nearly breaking through the middle. We'll see if Farjestad's able to tighten up. End-to-end action here. 9 minutes left here in the second period. We're tied at 1. Back to the point. Antonio, the bomb. Save, perhaps. The shot blocked. Chance now again, though. Vesa Pompa turns it over. Chance for the outlet pass from Afe doesn't go, as Farjestad will elect to slow things down. Sin, you might have a moment for a little bit of analysis.
Yeah, Disco Cricken, as you said, doing a much better job in this one. Still at times sort of oversliding, but he's making those first and sometimes second saves, which is the most important thing for him to do. As Farjestad right now a bit trapped in their zone. The heavy forecheck coming from Vesa Pompa. They do work it out, though.
Dangerous game. Afe has it. Back to the point. Maiza, will he look to pull the trigger? He doesn't. Throws it on net now. Hit the side of the goal. And now again, Vesa Pompa back in possession. 5 minutes remaining here. Jurgeli in possession. Finds the pass over to Nappis, stripped away by Afe. But Farjestad again not able to make the most of it. Loose puck battles all over the ice with about 4 minutes remaining here in the second period. Ekin has it. Empty net. We have a delayed call coming up. Shot on. Nope. Fake shot. Opportunity still doesn't go through. Chuck Testa, as you love to say, off of that strong note. It is going to be a Vesa Pompa power play, though, Sin. What do they have to do here? Obviously a crucial time to potentially get a goal.
Score. I mean, you have to. You have not scored a power play goal yet. There's no more important time than right now. Get the puck, work your cycle, and don't collapse too soon. We know they're going to want to collapse those defense. Wait for it. Try to spread out Farjestad. Unfortunate to lose the face-off right there. That's going to reset you, and it'll be hard to gain that blue line again.
A huge face-off win there for Farjestad in the defensive zone to start off the kill. Opportunity here for Ekin. Sends it down low. Recovered again by Farjestad. Rubitas being pressured. Can he clear? Not in full. Farjestad recover. And now send it all the way down. Maiza able to drop that one. About 2 minutes remaining here in the second period. 45 seconds to go on the man advantage. Lehmanen's in possession. Down low again. Jurgeli down to Ekin. Setting up in Gretzky's office. The chance there on the near post for Nappis. It doesn't go. And Bastion is able to clear. That'll do it. A successful kill for Farjestad. Vesa Pompa still without a power play goal this season as we've hit the final minutes. Opportunity. Bastion with a little bit of space. Can't get the pass in front. Great defense there from Laminens. Can he find the outlet? He can't. Recovered by Farjestad. Maiza in possession. Actually, not in fairness. I believe that was Totali, but still, big hit there. That'll do it for the second period. Sim, we are still tied at 1 goal apiece, though. Chances for either team to have grabbed the lead, and the chance, of course, still there. Desperate for the points are both sides.
Yeah, and Vesa Pompa, I mean, the most they can get now is 2 points, which is, not the most helpful, but, I mean, you got to find a way. You still, again, have only scored 1 goal. You have to find a way to hit the back of the net. You had the chance on the power play. The dry spell continues. Now you got to find it in some other way, shape, or form. But they're getting good time on attack. Could take a few more shots here and there. Maybe crash the net plays like that. And I felt like they've sort of abandoned that. They kind of charge in deep and then kick the puck back up to the Lehmanens for that quick one-timer. They've sort of abandoned it because he was missing the net, but they were getting some solid chances from it. I'd like to see him go back to the well.
We'll see if that is indeed the strategy here. Third period of play. Again, the final period of regulation that we'll have for you. Overtime might indeed be necessary. Chance in front. Ekin tries to tuck it. Rundqvist was there. Another early chance for Vesa Pompa, just not able to find these, the finishing touches to these opportunities, and a good bit of pressure there on the back check by Nappis. The move in front from Jurgeli doesn't go. Farjestad back in possession. Bastion has it now. Dishes it for Totali. Incomplete pass. Vesa Pompa back in possession here. Over the blue line. Lehmanens has it now. Ekin looks for space around the back. Again, the pass in front. Jurgeli trying to find Nappis for the shot, but defended well by Farjestad. They've looked for that play a couple of times. Turnover here from Antonio. Bit of space for Maiza. Can't get the shot off. Still has it. No shot again. Great defense here from Vesa Pompa. Bastion has it. Can he pull the trigger? He does. It's blocked. And finally, Vesa Pompa able to regain control of the puck and get into the attacking zone. Chance here. Pass. Big save from Rundqvist. Don't know if Ekin got all of that one. Huge hit there. Nearly a boarding call on Jurgeli. He got lucky. chance. Afe not able to get that one. Disco Cricket able to cover it. Again, Farjestad looking for that quick out. And had the goaltender not made the play, Afe would have had that one and a great chance to score.
Yeah, the aim just slightly off. You're going for the backboards there, and it just not quite able to work that time around, but a good look.
Farjestad able to maintain possession. Weren't able to keep the offensive zone. Misa in possession. Spin move in front. Second pass. Big save. Somehow didn't find the back of the net. Huge opportunities for Farjestad, for Vesa Pompa. In fairness, too, on the far side. Who is going to find this next goal? It's a game of inches at this point. Who's going to find that little bit of space? Nampus has it. Opportunity, although Sin, perhaps to be correct, we should say meters or centimeters, of course, trying to localize, you know? But who cares about the metric system? Opportunity, Nampus off the spin, drops it back to his defense, but again, Bastion was there. Smart move to send it into the open space, where his defense recovers. 9 minutes remaining here, as you see Rubitus taking his time. Dangerous game, but if you can find the space, the outlet chances are there, and there you go. Misa has it in space. Shot on, rebound, not there. Defended well and covered by Disco Cricket. 8:06 to go in regulation.
Lehmanen's perhaps saved a goal there by getting back to the front of the net and getting a stick on that loose puck. It kicked out, and I forget who, I think it was Bastion right there sitting, waiting on the rebound, or perhaps it was Afe. But, so lucky.
There for Ekin, doesn't go, but still recovered. Nampus in front, just doesn't find the tape of Ekin. Farjestad looking for the counter. Again, they find Misa. Bastion in front, can't get the shot off. Bastion still in possession, throws it back in front again. Loose puck still maintained by Vesa Pompa. Misa dishes it off. Looking for the pass, or not Misa dishes it off, but in fairness, that was Yergely. Drops it back to his defense. And now again, here comes Farjestad. They're trying to find Misa again. Farjestad's main man offensively. He's been all over the place, leading them into the zone. So easy to confuse the two when you talk about Misa and Ekin, of course, Yergely as well, the center on the backside. As Vesa Pompa again cut one out at the blue line. Under 4 minutes to go. Yergely drops it off. Now here's Ekin again. Can't gain the zone cleanly. Farjestad really tightening up defensively. Here's Nampus now over the line. Sends it down low. Ekin gives chase. He has it. Back to the point. Lehmanen's down the half wall. Looking for that space. Now back to the point again. Shot just stopped by Rundqvist. No deflection bid. Thrown back in front. Puck still loose. Farjestad comes up with it. Bastion, bit of space. Has Afe with them. Throws it on. Save and handled expertly by Disco Cricket. No rebound there. That is picture perfect positioning.
High risk, high reward play there by Antonio, trying to force the turnover with that, but it was a bit of a poke and choke. He got the poke, but the possession was recovered by Bastion, and he got a 2-on-1 out of it.
Big face-off win there for Vesa Pompa. Final minute of regulation. Here's Ekin. Brings it into the corner, dishes it back to the point. Now again in the corner, throws it in front. Loose puck, scramble. Farjestad have it, they clear. Vesa Pompa not able to hold the line, though. It's going to be an offside. Face-off back in the neutral zone. We'll see how this plays out. 45 seconds remain. Crucial face-off. See the big hit advantage for Vesa Pompa. 16-3. Big interception here. Afe has it. Sends it down low. He'll give chase himself, but eventually back off. Bastion looks to pressure as well, but Nampus doing a great job of holding back. Looking to lead his way through the neutral zone. Dishes it off for Antonio. Down in the corner. Throws it back for Ekin in front again, not there. Antonio has it. 20 seconds remains. Thrown over for Nampus now again. Backhand for Ekin, just wide. Second chance though. Vesa Pompa, the shot doesn't find its way through from Lehmanen's. Again thrown on. Stopped or hit the side of the net. Yergely not able to get a great chance there. Puck flipped out. Farjestad gives chase. No icing. Nearly turned over. Afe just not able to pick that one off. And Sin, for the third time in 4 games, overtime. I think I might take next week off because my voice is not going to survive. If I'm not mistaken, my friend, this is our 6th overtime game this week, at least our 5th.
Oh yeah, no question. I mean, it's just, I don't know what it is, but we seem to get all the overtimes, all the exciting back and forth games here, and what a game this is turning out to be. Some very tight chances for both these teams here, and some risky, some risks being taken, which you like to see. You know, in a game as tight as this, it's you got to open things up sometimes to look for those bigger chances. It's not all about playing it safe and into your system. You got to try to spread things out, throw some things that the other team is not ready to do. And we can see that play. They went back to it. They snuck Lehmanens into that slot. He goes for the rebound opportunity in this one. I don't know if he misaimed it or if he was trying to go for the rebound. Maybe he didn't get the type of contact on it that he wanted to kind of pick that far side corner. But nonetheless, the game remains tied. Overtime is coming, and this could go either way.
A crucial point picked up for Vesa Pompa, but after, you hate to say choking in that first game, they need all two. Farjestad, they get the 4 points that they were looking for here with a win. They are right back in the playoff hunt. Nampus has it here down the half wall. Back to Antonio. Tried to throw one on. It was blocked. 3-on-2 developing for Farjestad. Misa able to take his time. Drops back to the point. So Tally has it. Down in the corner. Dishes it back for Bastion. Now to the point again. Rubitus has it. Farjestad taking their time. Looking for the shot. Rubitus shot deflection. Bid defended well by Lehmanens to block it. Here comes Ekin for Vesa Pompa, but quickly snuffed out at the blue line by Rubitus. Totali here in possession will take his time, dishes it off to his defense partner. Rubitus can't make the play. Ekin regains possession for Vesa Pompa. Again, Bastion, as always, giving the other team a little bit of trouble at the blue line. Farjestad looking to step up that pressure on the forecheck. You see Lehmanens looking to work his way in. He does. See where he looks to really go with this puck here. Throws it on. Blocked in front again. Recovered by Farjestad. Totali back in possession. Taking his time and looking for a clean pass if he can get it. Tries to work it back. Cuts back around. And again, Farjestad willing to just take their time. They find the pass. Misa has it. Miscommunication. Nampus is there. Can he find Ekin? He can't. Miscommunication. No icing on the play. And a quick turnover here. Nampus overscores! Goalie off the turnover. Vesa Pompa walk away with a gigantic 2 points for the sake of their season. Spectacularly done. A brutal turnover for Farjestad as much as Vesa Pompa let that first game slip away. And again, tough to even remember that it didn't go to overtime. It felt like it was destined to, as much as you kind of expected that to go to OT. This one does ultimately go to OT. And again, as much as Vesa Pompa let that first game slip away from them, Farjestad, you get an overtime point here, but you might feel as though you let the 4 out of 4 slip away. A brutal turnover there, not the first rough turnover that we had seen from Farjestad. And again, it comes back to haunt them at a brutal time.
Yeah, and I was just about to, sort of silently criticize Nampus on that play. Ekin had the step. He chose not to kind of send the puck down kind of just in a general area that Ekin could win the race to. But then Nampus gets aggressive on the forecheck. He's the one who forces that turnover and is able to send it over to Goalie for the game winner. So things can change just like that in a heartbeat. He chose not to take the risk on the rush play. Instead, forechecks hard, gets the turnover, gets the assist on the game-winning goal. Great job, and they needed those points. They would have preferred 3 or 4. They kind of need 3 or 4, but they will gladly take the 2 points there in overtime.
Yeah, and absolutely. So in fairness, that might have only been our second overtime game of the day. It felt like 3, probably because of the extra bit of time that was spent due to the restart. So might have misspoken there, but you know what? When you've covered as many close games as we haven't had that many blowouts. We've had a lot of overtime games. The mind starts to drift at times. I'm getting word that it was 3, and you know what? I'll take your word for it, because just what a blur ultimately that it can be. Because again, when you have these super close games that are just so down to the wire, so competitive throughout, I mean, it's not surprising, of course, to see it go down. All 4 games could have gone to overtime that we covered today. So ultimately, very intrigued, of course, to see how this plays out. Looking forward to more overtime games in our next broadcast. Of course, we'll get to that at a later date. But again, a huge win for Vesa Pompa. Goalie, the winning goal at the end. But all in all, I mean, again, I think with both teams, you kind of talk about there are bright spots, I would say. For Vesa Pompa, we talked about Disco Cricket needing to tighten up. He absolutely did. You know, the chances were there for Vesa Pompa. The execution was just a bit off, and I feel like it's the same story for Farjestad. Good goaltending performance. The execution was just a little bit off. Really, as a result, these games could have gone either way.
Disco Cricket with a huge bounce back game in that second one, and Vesa Pompa getting that game winner that they needed, scoring 2 goals. That'll improve their average slightly, though it is in overtime. They still need to try to find more ways to score. Still looking for that first power play goal as well. And, you know, there's still some things to tighten up on their end. But as you said, a huge 2 points for them, desperately needed. And I don't know if we're going to be able to get the updated standings to you with those disconnected games. They usually take longer to kind of go in. So we do apologize for that. But I mean, we won't apologize for the hockey that we just got to witness, because it was exciting, a back and forth action all today, as we so often get the privilege of calling.
Absolutely. So again, if you missed it, a solid series at the start of this broadcast between Gotham Knights and Checkmate, as Checkmate have been able to work their way back into true playoff contention. The standings beyond crowded towards the bottom. The race for those final few spots going to continue to be intense here as we continue to go through the regular season. Again, the final games right now, as scheduled, if I'm not mistaken, for the regular season, May 14th. So again, less than a month remaining through the regular season. But again, strong games from both Vesa Pompa and Farjestad as they continue their journeys trying to get back into the mix. So, Sin, I think we are going to be looking to wrap things up here. But ultimately, a very entertaining set of games yet again. 3 for 4 out of overtime. That's, again, as been mentioned in the chat, our guarantee, seemingly. And indeed, Monday will be our next cast. We are likely to be on the call for that as well. It's going to be Havu Gaming and Yippee Vaskala. I'm telling you right now, we are going to be on the call for that. I don't care who else wants to commentate those games. That matchup is something that I will walk out of this organization for if I do not get to cover Havu Gaming. And actually, not Yippee Vasco. That was Monday. I read the wrong Monday. It's Unlucky Boys HC and Roots, Kobe Esports and Almost Famous. I need to go to bed. I thank you for joining us. It's a damn shame. But you know what? This has been one of those broadcasts that you just gotta charge through. We've gotten through disconnects. We've gotten through audio issues. I don't know how to read a schedule because I got 2 hours of sleep, but I wasn't gonna miss these games because of passion and intensity. Now, Sin, do you have any parting words so that I can take a nap?
Wow, I mean, those games just absolutely have completely fried our brain here at the end, as you see my partner over there sort of beginning to lose his mind there. So we thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support for NHL Gamer and our quest to make NHL 6's esports the top, the pinnacle, the standard when it comes to NHL esports. So thank you very much.
The chase of perfection continues to elude us. One of these days, we will get there. We thank you very much for joining us. Sin, as always, can be found on Twitter at SinForTheWinProd, on YouTube and Twitch, Sin for the Win Productions, if I am not mistaken. You can find me in between naps, because Lord knows I need a few, on Twitter at Tugi24, YouTube, Twitch, everywhere. Again, Unlucky Boys HC and Roots, Kobe Esports, and Almost Famous coming up. Sin, it's been a day. It's been a time. It's been a happening. Even, see, I'm not the only one to make mistakes. It's apparently Unlucky Boys HC versus Rots. I don't know who Rots is, but I'm intrigued to see how good they may be. It's been a banner day for us at NHL Gamer. Of course, make sure to check us out, NHLGamer.com, for more of this high quality entertainment at the very least. We will see you all next time. Until then, I'm tired. He's Sin. We'll see you next time.